Hey guys, we are back once again to hopefully conclude Danganronpa If. And got some very, as I said last time I believe, like some very lust-based characters on the starting screen here.
Oh yeah.
So, we've exposed Mukuro, we've cut tethers with Junko, and we've exposed Genocide Jill. So we're pretty tense right now. We're in a pretty tense position in our killing school life.
And Mukuro has... Yeah, I mean, Mukuro has gotten to the point where she's pretty committed to this idea of defeating Junko. In a way, both for her own sake and for Junko's sake. It's kind of like, it's an interesting balance where, like, in a way she's found a reason to live that has both escaped despair and embraced despair, right? It goes into that whole idea of, like, she's become something different than hope or despair, which is obviously an interesting parallel to the main game this novel is included with. That Mukuro is making an interesting parallel to the protagonist of the main game.
That's definitely why
you recently played.
Not to force them to translate it, that's the reason.
But it is well, yeah, of course. There's descending reasons. The main reasons to force them to translate it. But it is interesting that there is a thematic tie there, obviously, with the storyline of DR2 relating to the remnants of despair and how, you know, there's an interesting theme of how both the protagonist as well in the main game and the story happen to be despairs, and how, in a way, they overcome their own despair to become something greater. Whether that necessarily represents hope or not is its own argument, but it's interesting, and we'll see if Mukuro can succeed in bringing Junko's world crumbling down and giving her that sweet, sweet taste of despair.
I mean, it's kind of impossible not to do it, but yeah.
I mean, it's this story, so it doesn't... I mean, it could go either way. Yeah, yes, of course.
If she beats Junko, she feels despair. The question is, does she make Junko survive?
Well, this is the interesting thing, right? So Mukuro has decided that the greater despair is to make Junko fail.
Yes.
So she's decided that that is true despair, right? And it is one of those funny things where, like, success and failure both bring Junko despair, but Mukuro, to some extent, is trying to cut through that and has made the decision that she is going to give Junko what she truly wants, which, again, despair, and she believes that the true despair is to defeat her. And that kind of goes in also to DR2. If you look at, in the final trial, there is a moment where it's like, which decision is true hope and which decision is true despair. And I think it was a cut line that starts with, like, Makoto and switches to Junko. And it's one of those interesting things where it's like, that is an interesting question, especially from Junko's perspective, is what does
you know what I think would be a great question at the end of this?
Yeah.
So say we somehow cut to, like, the final trial. Everyone is alive, and Junko pulls her, like, her thing, where it's like, okay, so, you gotta pick between hope and despair, and if you choose despair, the despair dies. If you choose hope, hope dies, and you all live in the school. But what if she did that, but choosing to kill off despair would also include Mukuro? Because she is still part of the ultimate despair. And you'd have to kill the despair sisters as a whole, compared to just killing off, like, Pansy Boy Makoto here.
I mean, she has to also get into that position.
That would be a really interesting ultimatum.
So she'll have to, in some form or fashion, defeat Mukuro, or to be able to even offer that gambit, but yes.
So let's see what happens in this Button of Hope and the Tragic Warriors of Despair.
That name is so stupid.
That's so Danganronpa. Believe this is you?
Okay, so, yeah, I believe so, but I admittedly, as always, forgotten who's voicing who. Over 10 minutes have passed.
Yeah.
We're just gonna have to wing it. I think we could generally guess most of who we were doing,
I was Celeste.
Of course. Over 10 minutes had passed. The sound of the students leaving the gym and making their way to the nurse's office rang throughout the hall. Genocide Jack had continued to dodge stalkers attached to their tricky movements. But when Byakuya blurted out, "Enough already, you irritating pervert," Genocide Jack stopped in her tracks.
Alright, I guess you're doing Byakuya.
Who was
I guess you're Byakuya, I'll be Jill. Oh
I don't remember who was, so go ahead.
Neither do I. It's been like a month and a half since then. Getting chewed out by my best spectacular. Fuck.
The spectacled. He's wearing glasses.
Don't know why I was reading that as spectacular with a B at the front.
Sure.
Bespectacle Byakuya is making my masochistic side get all tingly. They say the line between sadism and masochism is paper thin, but in my case it's more like a Venn diagram.
Preach, girl. Also, it's only been a month.
What difference does it make? We forgot who's who.
Well, yeah, but that would have happened if it would have only been like a week, to be honest.
I didn't re-look at it.
Normally we don't have to think about it because we just voice everyone, or if it's voice, usually that's not something we'd have to normally we have to write down. Because usually that's what a lot of people do. That they write down who's each character if it's like a 2 or more person experience, something like this.
Yeah. We'll see.
If we were doing, honestly, that might be something to do with Ace Attorney in the future, is actually write down who's playing who.
Well, I know you're Maya.
I know, all the main characters, but the thing is with Ace Attorney is, you never know who might come back.
Edgeworth?
I mean more like side characters, we know the main ones.
I just know I'm Lola, or whatever her name was.
Lotta Hart.
Yeah, Lotta Hart. Fuck these names, man. You were
anyway, we will keep going.
Alright.
Of course.
Words can't explain these hot waves of passion swimming from the top of my head to the tippies of my toes.
I'll do a little research and I'll keep track of that for you for when we get back to Ace Attorney after this.
Sure.
As she rambled incoherently about Byakuya, the other students tied her up with a microphone cable from the gym and locked her in her room.
What? Such fools can't capture the ultimate murderous fiend so easily?
Well, she's kind of letting it happen to a degree.
Shenanigans.
Well, I mean, she's not going to disobey master.
But it
half
has
the
to be
students stayed
master
behind.
that ties her up.
I mean, if it's on his orders, loosely, she could still get off to it. Half the students stayed behind to keep an eye on her, while the rest left to search the grounds of the school.
That's a lot.
And back to the nurse's office. As soon as the door to the nurse's office opened, Kyoko saw a non-functioning Monokuma with a hole in its chest and the remains of the surveillance camera. It wasn't just in the nurse's office, though. On their way home, the students had seen several destroyed surveillance cameras and scattered Monokuma bodies.
Jesus Christ.
This was a clear violation of school regulations. But if Mukuro was allied with Monokuma, those regulations wouldn't apply to her anyway.
Are you forgetting she tried to harpoon her earlier?
Well, yeah, but... Yes, but if you remember, Junko pulled that whole song and dance about, she's about to get into it, about Bishiki Madurai, the ultimate hacker, all that bullshit. So she tried to gaslight the students into thinking that the original Monokuma is still aligned with with Mukuro and Makoto.
Oh yeah. It is cool to
The
see
Monokuma-
as well that even though Junko has complete control of the situation, certain ultimates, particularly the combat ones, are still kind of tricky to kill, even with how much control Junko has of the situation.
Yes, because now it's in a fair fight. Obviously it's still, Fair is not the right word, but like Mukuro knows to be on high alert all the time, and so it's like a different battle now.
Yeah, but she still can't get to the
The
other floors yet.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. The Monokuma inside the gym was no longer moving, and the students had lost contact with the hacker Bishiki Madurai. So the students assumed that Madurai had taken control of a different Monokuma and went after Mukuro on his own. With that in mind, Kyoko turned and looked inside the nurse's office once again. It was unusually quiet. The beds were empty, but Kyoko could see the bloodstains that someone had been resting there recently. Oh. I assume you're Kyoko?
Okay. Looks like they're already gone. So she took Makoto with her? Kinda risky.
Well, yeah. To protect him. Because he was outed as a terrorist as well.
I guess.
Oh, that was Mondo. Okay. Interesting.
Oh.
I don't actually remember which of us was Mondo, to be fair. Mondo remarked... The funny thing is, I think I might have actually been Toko, but who cares? Mondo remarked, but as he was about to leave, Kyoko spoke up behind him.
You can be Toko if you want, and I'll be Jill.
No, I don't care.
You cared when it was Ryuko and Junko.
Well, that's different.
I don't know, man. Jill's pretty based.
I don't disagree. It's still different.
I'm going to stay with Chihiro and search for clues.
Huh? Asked Chihiro, her timid eyes widening. Clues? Kyoko continued to speak in a calm tone of voice.
Now that's weird, because it says continue to speak. But she hasn't spoken yet.
Well, it's okay, well you just... She was continuing the line that was at the top of the screen. I'm going to stay here with Chihiro and search for clues.
Oh.
Because that was Kyoko.
I thought that was Mondo.
No. The Mondo was that part's Kyoko.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. There may be some clues in these Monokuma remains. I figured you would be the best candidate for investigating machinery.
Sakura spoke up.
Fuck's sake! Add that to the
What?
damn thing, please.
Wait, what?
I thought that was Kyoko speaking.
I think that was Kyoko. I think the implication is the next line is Sakura.
Okay, if someone's speaking, please God, just add who's speaking at the end of the same line. Oh my god. Who was Sakura? I think I was Sakura.
I feel like you were Sakura.
But isn't that dangerous?
When Sakura could clearly hold her own in a fight with Mukuro, she had joined the other students in searching the school grounds. Kyoko shook her head and replied,
I'm sorry to say this, but if things get out of hand, Chihiro and I will be in your way. I think it's better if we search for clues here instead of doing nothing. Besides, we might be able to use Monokuma's parts to detect any radio broadcasts from the outside world. Ooh, that would be awkward.
That'd be funny.
Yeah, just learn that shit in chapter 1, like, god damn.
Well, it is chapter 1 of 1. Wherever this goes, like...
You certainly have a point. Yeah, because they learned that when, like, the killings all stopped. That would have been funny.
Mm-hmm.
Understood. We'll be exploring this floor for a while. Please shout for us if anything happens.
Sakura left the nurse's office.
Also, like, you only have one floor open. How have you lost track of Mukuro and Makoto? There's very little places to go on floor 1.
Theoretically.
I think this is Chihiro.
How did she destroy Monokuma like this? As Chihiro cautiously stood over Monokuma's remains, Kyoko started searching through the room. She zeroed in on one of the beds and began studying it intensely. Damn, are they fucking here? A moment later, Kyoko was satisfied with what she found and let out a small sigh before she spoke.
That little bitch could get Kyoko.
What? I was talking about Mukuro and Makoto.
Oh, as if that little bitch could get Mukuro.
Either way, the problem is either way. The worst part is either way. The answer is probably yes.
What am I talking about? This was a high school setting. Of course he was a harem protagonist.
God damn it.
We saw how chummy in those photos Kyoko and, Sayaka were to him. And there's just Mukuro in the background looking coy and pouting, and Junko being like, bitch, man up.
Honestly.
Would they kill him anyway?
Junko clearly isn't afraid to have harems.
True. I mean, look at the fan base. Chihiro.
That too, but...
Chihiro, let me apologize to you in advance. The fact there was no implication of anyone, like, trying to get with Junko from, like, the photos is just bullshit. That is absolute nonsense.
Sure. Well, you know, the funny thing is, I will say... Well, that's the thing, right? Like, she likes her M names. Matsuda, Mikan, Mukuro, you know?
Were there any... Okay, fair enough. She got the entirety of class... whatever the hell in DR2, so that's fair.
Seemingly!
I was trying to think if there are any M names in that class, but no, the whole fucking class counted. Mikan.
Well, it's interesting. Well, yeah, Mikan is, yes, Mikan is in the class, but I was gonna say, like, it's interesting because the implication there is that she went after another class. She mostly stayed out of, and maybe that's because she felt that, you know, they were, whatever, we don't know the details yet, but she pretty much stayed away from her own class.
And she did all of this right under the Ultimate Detective's nose.
And Daddy's nose, and various other people's nose. Now, to be fair...
Your credibility's dim, Kyoko.
Well, both Jin and Kyoko were sniffing it, but they couldn't put it together. Neither of them put it together.
Yeah. Ultimate Detective's my ass. Huh? Okay. I dragged you into this gamble of mine, so if anything happens, run out into the hallway and call for help. Interesting choice of wording.
What does that mean? Instead of answering Chihiro's question,
she flashed him.
Kyoko started talking to one of the empty beds.
What? Let me say this first. I'm prepared to hear your story. No matter how ridiculous it may sound, I promise not to decide if it's a lie or the truth until I've listened to it in its entirety.
Chihiro looked confused. She didn't understand what Kyoko meant at all. The ultimate question mark lowered her eyes and turned to the ultimate programmer to make a request.
Chihiro, does your laptop have a voice recording function? And do you also have a microphone?
Yeah?
Wait, laptop? What?
Well, we discovered that laptop in chapter 1. No, but it doesn't become alter... Is it? Because I thought alter ego comes up later, but obviously. But yeah, isn't the library on the first floor? But the library's on the first floor.
No, it's on the second floor. It's next to the swimming room.
Is it?
Yeah, because that was like Byakuya's chapter. That's when he starts like investigating the library, gets sussy, and then the hidden room there is like the genocide Jack file. That's chapter 2.
Yeah, I do know. Interesting. Well, I don't know then.
Consistency error, continuity error.
Why do I? That. Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's you.
I want to use that to record everything we're about to hear.
There's no one here. As Chihiro wondered to herself, she began connecting Monokuma's parts to her laptop and turned on the record function. I'm sure we'll pick up every sound in this room now, said Chihiro nervously.
There's a fucking USB cord on Monokuma.
That would be funny. Satisfied, Kyoko nodded and once again started talking to the empty bed.
The funny thing is, we have dismantled Monokuma before, and that never came up. So what were you going to do if I told everyone that I found Makoto?
When she heard Kyoko say that, Chihiro looked back at her and was surprised by what she saw. At that moment, the ultimate programmer was kneeling on the floor next to Monokuma's remains. From that position, she was able to see it. Of all the beds in the nurse's office, there was one bed in particular that couldn't be seen from the entrance. Underneath that bed lay a limp Makoto.
Oh.
A blood pack was hidden next to the bed and slowly providing Makoto with a transfusion. The contents of the blood pack were clear. Rather than blood, it seemed to be some kind of saline solution used in emergency hydration.
She performed a damn blood transfusion on him? How in the hell?
Well, it's a saline solution.
I guess, but even
So-
still, like, ultimate soldier. We sure this
Yeah,
is the
most
ultimate
soldiers
nurse?
would... No, most soldiers would know how to do that.
Fair enough.
Though it wouldn't be as effective as an actual blood transfusion, it was enough to keep him from going into shock. Though that was the extent of Chihiro's medical knowledge. She was already surprised that Makoto had been in the nurse's office this whole time. Not only that, but Kyoko wasn't talking to the bed that Makoto was under, which sent chills throughout Chihiro's body. However, there was nobody under the bed that Kyoko was facing. But the moment Chihiro noticed that, a voice rang out from underneath it. So this is obviously
What?
Mukuro.
They really couldn't see her under the bed?
So she must, I'm assuming she's literally like holding on to the underside of the bed. Like she's not actually on the ground.
Oh, she's just like, literally like extended.
Very
holding
ninja bullshit. Like that's kind of what I'm imagining. But I assume they'll describe it soon enough.
That
I think that's
sounds
what's happening.
hilarious to look at. Oh god, what was the voice
Yeah.
of Mukuro?
Pretty deadpan. Not a lot of emotion.
That's Kyoko.
Relatively serious. Yeah, they kind of overlap a bit.
Shit. I can't like Alright, let's see. As soon as everyone's attention was focused on Makoto, I was planning to take advantage of the opportunity to take someone hostage.
Chihiro cautiously lowered her head until it was nearly touching the floor. She was able to make out who was talking.
Jesus Christ, is she a stick figure? I saw.
Yeah, there it is.
Zero, and you cannot hide those thighs that easily.
Surprisingly, the person hiding there was clinging to the frame of the bed. Yeah, there it is. Like a ninja clinging to the ceiling. Wow, I was right on the nose with that.
Well, you've seen this.
Presumably, no, yeah, but that doesn't mean I remember specifics like that. Presumably, if someone, especially like the ninja comment, presumably if someone had glanced under the bed quickly, they wouldn't have noticed anybody was there.
Dude, V3, Ultimate Ninja.
Honestly, decent chance.
I feel like we're gonna get a combat-style Ultimate, like, every game.
At least one. But yeah, like, ninja is a Japanese, like, it's thematically Japanese and Asian in general, so that would make a lot of sense. I think there's a decent chance it happened. Though Chihiro had no idea how the person was able to hide under the bed for so long. She could at least understand that their strength was beyond normal human levels.
Supernatural levels.
There was no question that the person hiding under the bed was Mukuro Ikusaba.
But you pretended not to notice. Why?
Mukuro's voice was as cold as ice, but Kyoko didn't even flinch as she responded.
What an interesting conversation between these two. No emotion,
Oh yeah.
no hint of a reaction, just cold.
Well, they're
calm.
similar. They really are very similar. Like, obviously, like, Kyoko's a little more emotional than Mukuro, for the most part.
These two must have been best friends in those 2 years. Such a vibe. Because I
Honestly, I don't.
Side of the story.
The fact that they're similar in this particular traits makes me think that they wouldn't really hang out much at all.
Damn.
Like sometimes it's like people that are very similar that like attract each other, and other times it's more like opposite. These are personality traits that I feel like don't hang out with a lot of similar people.
Makoto has a knack for attracting like cold, hard-blooded gals.
And Sayaka.
Sayaka.
Yeah, but yeah, in that sense, Kyoko and Mukuro. I think he attracts everyone basically. But Kyoko and Mukuro definitely like. I think they would find similar. They would like Makoto for the same reasons. Is the best way to put it.
Can you answer what those reasons are? Because he ain't much.
Earnest nature, earnest, honest, like that type of bullshit. Very different from that. They see a lot of things that maybe they wish they could see in themselves in Makoto.
If that's the case, maybe we should have swapped Makoto with Kazuichi and he could finally have his harem. He's a lot of those things. And he got...
The problem with that is, I mean, to be fair, Kazuichi's a pussy, so would he really? I was gonna say,
and
the problem with that might be... Yeah, I know, but like, that was my counter to the argument I hadn't yet made, which was, the problem with Kazuichi is he'd actually, like, do things.
He's too useful of a person.
That too. No, but when I said do things, I meant like he would actually, like, I don't know, like, do sexual things or whatever.
He'd actually take up the opportunities he had.
Yeah, that's the problem. So, like, that doesn't work. He has to be, like, a pathetic side character that can't get any. Oh my
god, like, bro, the second, like, Makoto shot saw an interest back, they've lost it. It's like, nah, I'm not into this anymore. What was I thinking?
I mean, that would be funny. That might be another part of it. Like, there's probably an element, I think definitely with, like, you know, there could be an element of, like, damn, like, he's so, like, almost like, not ignorant, but basically ignorant. Like, he's just, like, doesn't even recognize it. But then again, like, what's her name? Sayaka played off of the fact that, like, she wanted to, like, she was playing into the fact that he liked her, and very obviously was like knew that he liked her, and like kind of tried to egg it out of him. So I mean that dynamic, everything about that dynamic is different.
It really makes you wonder, like, what happened in those 2 years when that could have been a thing? Was she manipulating him, or like?
See, that's the thing, right? Because the circumstances are different, right? Like, it makes sense in those circumstances to try and manipulate him. Like Sayaka was doing to Makoto a similar thing to what Celeste did to Hifumi in DR1, right? Like, it's you know, it's like an asset
pretty much
in this scenario, right? You didn't necessarily have... You could still do it in a regular school life, but you didn't necessarily have to. Whereas, like, I feel like Sayaka saw that as, you know, part of
it's very funny you say that, because there's literally that picture of Sayaka laughing at Celeste gorging Hifumi's eyes out.
Yeah, I know, I'm just saying, like, you don't have to, right? Like, so the circumstances are different. Like, obviously, Hifumi and Celeste had a relationship of some kind, but I'm just saying that, like, Sayaka and Makoto's relationship, we don't really know exactly what that relationship was, and it probably probably, if anything, was more natural and more, regardless of how far it went or didn't go or any of that bullshit. But I mean, either way, apparently Makoto remembers now, according to one of the emails from the Future Foundation and Makoto, that they all 6 of them got their memories back.
How? Who cares? They just did.
But yeah, so yeah, Makoto, Kyoko, Byakuya, Hinahiro. Oh yeah, it's 5 of them. Who's the? Oh yeah, Toko. Duh. Yeah,
always do that.
So I think it was confusing because Jill has memories from before, so I think that threw me off a little. But yeah, Toko.
Yeah, she always had the memory.
of what she remembers, because obviously they
So
have
now
like a split
that-
memory, so it fucks them up a
That's
bit.
a relation I'd like to know how that developed in 2 years. Did she wear him down in 2 years? Did they wear him down in 2 years? I want to say no, because then like Jill probably would be a lot more forceful if she remembered it.
Who knows? Anyways, let's get back to this.
I knew you were hiding under that bed. Compared to the others, the frame was slightly more pronounced.
Chihiro tried comparing the beds to see if this was true, but she couldn't tell the difference at all. Only Kyoko's natural observation skills could let her see something like that. Mukuro seemed to come to a similar conclusion and appeared from under the bed without making a sound. Her face was stoic and cold. Compared to the bomb inside Monokuma, Chihiro thought she was even more terrifying.
Damn.
However, Mukuro ignored Chihiro and shifted her gaze at Kyoko.
I forgot if she took her wig off or not.
She leaned against the wall and let her arms fall to her sides as she threw out another question.
Why do you want to hear what I have to say?
Kyoko thought about the simple question for a while, as if she were searching within her own heart for the answer.
If I have to provide an answer, it's because I wish to remain neutral.
Kyoko quietly looked down.
I'm currently missing most of my memories. I don't know who I am or what talent I had to be accepted into this school.
You hear Chihiro gasp behind her, but Kyoko didn't mind and continued.
Bitch, shut up. But even so, I believe I should listen to what you have to say. Regardless of whether you're good or evil, I must hear all the facts in order to know the truth. Good or evil don't matter. I'll come to a conclusion based on what I see and hear.
Man, she really does speak like a major like Ace Attorney character. It's actually kind of wild. Like she's so
Sus.
very much like a character from that universe. I mean, maybe less silly than a lot of them, but she's very. That's such an Ace Attorney line. Whether you're good or evil, I must hear all the facts in order to know the truth. Good and evil don't matter.
It's fair.
Anyways, yeah.
I think that's the methodology that's been instilled into me. I see. I completely forgot you were like that, Kyoko. But before I listen to what you have to say, I'd like to ask you one question first. What is it?
Mukuro's reply was completely emotionless. Kyoko presented her question as if she were asking it of herself as well.
Gonna ask what a talent is, I assume? Nice! What was my talent that allowed me to attend this academy?
The answer to that question was simple.
Kyoko, you're the ultimate detective.
That answer marked a turning point for both girls.
Girl, come on. You're smart. How have you not figured that out yet? I mean, you're literally dressed like a Bond's villain. Thank you. I have a better understanding of the situation now.
Kyoko slowly raised her head and presented a theory.
If my memory loss wasn't just a coincidence, then No. Your group has the ability to erase people's memories. With that in mind, if we take into consideration the situation that unfolded in the gym earlier, I can only come to one possibility. Possibility? Yes. Well, you said to be Akio when you thought you were taking Toko hostage. You claimed that they met 2 years ago. It's possible that might actually be true.
The fact that Makoto called out Mukuro's name, the things that Mukuro confirmed and denied.
Not quite as
Genocide
much
Jack's
as she had in the base game about the memories being gone.
Genocide Jack's outlandish claims. Well, she had different evidence too.
I guess.
These key factors that Kyoko noted using her special observation skills were converging in her mind to form one answer.
It's possible that Byakuya and Toko's memories were also erased, like mine, but I don't think their circumstances are quite the same as mine. But if our memories can be controlled so freely, it calls into question whether the day Monokuma appeared was really the same day we entered the academy. Again, it's like... This is like the only really weird thing about it, is that like... Especially with what they did with like Hiyoko in this game, it's like... Their appearance hasn't changed at all in 2 years. Like, the same damn clothes on, the same everything, like... Nothing's different.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
That's kind of just like anime, like, we can do what we want one way or the other with that type of stuff.
Especially for characters like Sakura, who's like always training to improve her body, gain muscle mass, and who came into this school with so many scars. You're saying she doesn't have another one by now? Like, come on. Or Hina, like, the athletic people should look at least a little different because their talents are based on their body image. Like,
sure, these are the type of things that, like, they don't care about. Like, they don't.
Well, I do, damn it. I care about logic.
And it's fair for you to care about it, but
I'm
it's
the
stuff that they
ultimate
don't care
buzzkill,
about.
damn it.
I'm just telling you the real answer is that they don't care. That's the real answer to those questions.
That is bullshit. Okay, this is Mukuro. Like you said, it's possible...
No, this is still Kyoko. This is all one quote.
Oh. Like you said, it's possible that we've known Toko Fukawa for the last 2 years. God have mercy on your souls for that, Jesus Christ.
No.
What do you mean?
That might be she, yeah. What do you mean? Chihiro cried. Yeah, like, the stutter kind of gave it away.
You're saying
still working.
In 2 years, I'm still a petite little bitch with no upper body strength?
Still working on connecting her laptop to Monokuma's parts.
2 years of wanting to be strong, and I'm still just a lolly. No!
Yeah, it worked out better for Hiyoko.
Especially the one whose body is, like, linked to his development. Like, bro.
Yeah.
2 years and nothing? That is so fucking depressing.
Like I said, it's even worse when you know that Hiyoko cooked. Kyoko continued, speaking to both Chihiro and Mukuro.
We thought we were knocked unconscious with the sleeping gas the moment we arrived at this school. But it's possible that they were simply made to think that's what happened. For example, we may have already spent the last 2 years at Hope's Peak Academy, and our memories of that time were completely erased. It's even possible that we aren't even ultimates at all. Just random people who've been implanted with 16 years worth of false memories. That's a little far-fetched.
I mean, it makes sense, though. Again, if they can manipulate memories like that, who's to say that all your memories aren't false?
But we've seen evidence of, like, the combat ultimates. It's like, that's definitely not complicated.
Sure, but, like, even then, like, the whole ultimate thing could just be really good at this or that. Though Kyoko's claim sounded ridiculous, her face was completely... All she said is, it's possible. Her face was completely serious. She looked up at Mukuro once again.
She may not be
it's all relative.
But she's pretty good at it.
Yeah, of course.
Which means, I'm considering the possibility that your crazy story is actually the truth.
Kyoko's declaration filled the room with silence. But she didn't let that silence overwhelm her. Kyoko cut through it with her own words.
Well, without evidence, all I can do is make hypotheses. That's why I want to hear what you have to say, Mukuro. I have no intention of blindly believing what you're going to say. Or that self-proclaimed hacker who took over Monokuma said.
She paused and lowered her eyes again, then declared with powerful determination.
Even so, I intend to come to a conclusion that as fairly and objectively as I can. But I can only do that if you trust me and tell me the truth.
Kyoko's conviction was clear from her voice.
You know, if you went the other route of what you said of, like, these two not getting along at all, I wouldn't be surprised if it took 2 years for these two to even speak to each other. If they're that far apart.
Like, I'm not even saying that, it's just, like, I feel like they would, you know, when we talk about, like, who they'd be close to, like, obviously, I think they'd be on the lower end of that scale, as far as the class goes.
Oh yeah, because Mukuro was stuck to Junko like glue.
That too, of course.
And apparently Junko didn't care too much about the class because she was too busy manipulating, our potatoes in, this game.
Yes and no. I think she cared, but again, it was just different plans for different people. Because obviously, for better or worse, she did have a plan for this class as well.
The main plan, the despair tactic.
Mm-hmm. Sure. I mean, so like in essence, both. Yeah, I mean, she had her grand vision for various potatoes for basically every character we met in these games. I won't say every character in the series, but damn near. I mean, because even with Zero, like, she had her plans for most of them that came to fruition in Zero.
Yeah, true. I mean, for God's sake, she got Narito Kamaida on her side.
I'd love to see how that happened.
Such
and I still think there's a decent chance. I don't know about that. I still feel like they're going to. Best guess is the anime, but you never know with the game.
I mean, that's my theory.
Yeah. I mean, the big question mark is what the game's about, and honestly, the best way to put it, almost more important than that, is where in the timeline does the game take place?
Which game?
UDG.
Ah, fair enough.
I don't even want to, like, remotely consider V3.
If that's a game, like, playing out Junko fucking getting all these ultimates on her side, that would be so based.
I mean, the name... See, that's the thing, right? Like, the name of the game could definitely lend itself to that.
Mm. Oh, that'd be just cum-inducing.
It really would.
A game where you get to play as Junko and Ashima, like...
Presumably, if it would be both of them, because it's called Ultra Despair Girls, so it's plural.
About that
so, yeah, you know, I'm just saying that, like, if it was Junko, we'd probably be playing as Junko and Mukuro in that hypothetical. That was one of my theories going into UDG.
Maybe they
so we'll see if that happens.
The question: what's with the surnames?
I feel like just for trolling's sake, that regardless, I don't think they're ever going to explain that, but you never know.
Such a bastard.
Anyways, Kyoko's conviction was clear from her voice. Mukuro's eyes narrowed slightly. A mystery of emotion splashed across her face as she looked toward Kyoko. When she opened her mouth, her expression and voice were completely devoid of emotion.
That's right. I completely forgot you were like that. Okay. You have your memories. So how did you forget what Kyoko's like? Did she actually change that much in 2 years?
No, I don't think that's what it is. I think it's more like... Mukuro obviously was a part of the class, but like you said, like clearly was quite distant and is so obsessed with Junko that it's almost like some of this stuff is kind of almost like was so almost in a way irrelevant to her that it's like, oh yeah, like I think because even with the Makoto,
I think the choice of wording, like you were like that rather than you are like that, implies that like she had quite a bit of development in that time.
So that's not how I interpret it at all. I think it's more like, yeah, that's the person you were before the mind wipe.
I guess the point to you is that like she wasn't different in the final trial, but like even then it's...
I don't even think that. I'm just saying, I don't think it's just... I just don't think the comments related to, like, development over those 2 years. I think it's just, like, forgetting what Kyoko's like, period. Because I just don't think she's like, she knows, but she doesn't really, like... It's been such a... It's not something that, like, Mukuro's really focused on, and it's been a while. Like, obviously, there's time has passed since, like, they were in class. Like, a lot has happened since then.
I guess.
But I think it's mostly related to Mukuro just being focused on other things during the time that they were in class.
I guess she did kill a lot of people in that time.
A lot of stuff. Yeah, Mukuro was essentially the... she did the dirty work, for the most part.
Half the time, she wasn't even Mukuro.
Yeah, a lot of that dirty work involved playing a character, ironically, a lot of the time, for her sister. Like, I mean, literally, like, you know what I mean. But, like, not just for her sister, but literally for her sister.
With such accomplishments in that field, can we label her as also the ultimate cosplayer?
Well, the ironic thing is she's not very good at it, and that's the irony of it.
That's only according to Junko, though.
Sure, but, like, the second... That's kind of the thing, right? It was, like, the second... She had no reference for Junko, which is why it was so believable to Ryoko.
Hmm.
Because it was, like, instant. The second she was starting to get her, like, the memory was really coming, I was like, oh, wait, you're not Junko?
I don't have freckles. I'm not an ugly pig.
Yeah, you don't look like Jesus Christ, like, Junko's hot as fuck. What the fuck?
Thinking about it, Junko speaks a lot to Mukuro to how Byakuya does to Toko.
Mm-hmm.
Blonde buddies for life? Is that just how blondes act in this universe? Because, I mean, Chapter 4 and beyond,
Hyoko's a bitch, too.
Yes. Chapter 4 and beyond, Sonya's a bit of a savage. Especially to Kazuichi.
I mean, so, see, what's funny is, all of these, like, it's interesting because there is, like, a thread line in Danganronpa between Blonde and, entitled pricks. Yeah, like, because when you think about it, it's like, that's what they all have in common, right? Because, like, Sonya, for the most part, is nicer than the others, but Sonya is literally a princess.
Also a foreigner. She's a foreigner.
Sure, but, like, it's the entitled... I mean, to be fair, so far, both of the foreigners are also entitled characters in different ways. Because Celeste was a quote-unquote foreigner, and she was entitled.
Yeah.
Totally not from Japan. Totally not. But, yeah, it's like, I don't know. I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of entitled characters in Danganronpa in general, but it's interesting that the blondes, kind of all are.
Yeah. And they've all got, like, simps.
Yeah, they all have followings. I mean, even if you go beyond, like, the actual, like, other characters, like, they all have, like, again, Sonya has a kingdom, Byakuya has, like, a giant organization, Junko has the Ultimate Despair, the Remnants, the Despair group. Yeah, well, I mean, a good portion of it, at least. And obviously Hyoko has her simps.
Yeah.
So, it is kind of interesting. Like, there are thread lines between the blondes. Not sure if that's intentional. I guess we'll find out in V3. Dude, if the trend continues there, then you really know.
Seeing how Mikon was with Junko just makes you want to know how Hyoko was with Junko.
I mean, all of them, really.
I know, but it's the consistent bashing on Mikon that Hyoko did. Like, up that to a despair level, like, against despair.
Like, I feel like
how bad was that?
You see, you say that, but given the way despair works, I kind of wonder if it's the opposite. Because Hyoko hates... See, it depends, though. Because, like, does Hyoko actually hate Mikon? Or is that Hyoko's weird way of almost actually liking Mikon? We don't know. Well, like, assuming her hatred of Mikon is genuine, then she probably would, like, say nice things and be nice to Mikon, and that would... Because that would bring her despair.
From a jealousy thing?
I mean, yeah, the chest and the body in general. Yeah.
At least until she, like, fucking shut up.
So that's the other thing, too, is, like, that...
Hyoko, in this game, is meant to be 4'2".
That's so funny.
She is basically almost a dwarf. Fucking
I think she might be legally. Oh, maybe not in Japan though, because Japanese people trend shorter.
Yeah, and like she went from like that to like 5'6" in like a year. Like that is insanity.
Well, I don't think we know exactly what her height was supposed to be, but yeah, she jumped.
Like, bruh. First of all, bruh. But secondly, like, yeah, like, there's no reason to be jealous after that. Like, so what would the dynamic be with Mikan at that point?
Who knows?
And did she finally learn to tie her kimono?
Hopefully.
That's kind of the other thing, is that, like, her talent is kind of based on, like, her stature. So, did that...
Really? Some of her fan... I would say some of her fan base is built on her stature. Her talent doesn't really have anything to do with it.
I know, but it's another one of, like... It's another popularity-based talent, right? So it's like...
Sure.
Did it have any, like, issues with that?
If anything, I think her fan base would just change. Because I think there's a lot of people that would be really into the Hiyoko, myself included, would be a lot more into the second Hiyoko than the first. So, like, I think it would just... And there would be... Okay, bro. Dude, older Hiyoko is hot.
I didn't deny that.
So I think it's just there'd be different, like... You know, there'd be some overlap of people that would be fans of her for both. There'd be the overlap of people that actually like her because she's a good dancer. And then there'd be the fans that would be like I said, there'd be the fans that leave because she looks like a woman, and there'd be the fans that she'd gain because she looks like a woman.
That is the...
So,
you could have just said not as lovely anymore the way you said that.
That works too, but that's the point. Like, there's no shying around the fact. The game literally makes fun of the fact that a big portion of her fan base probably likes her because she looks like a kid.
Yeah.
But I don't think, I think the fall off would, it'd be fairly proportional. I think, if anything, it would just be, it would change her fan base more than anything.
That's fair.
But yes, it is interesting that, the blondes all have a lot of interesting thread lines. Anyways.
That must be why Junko took care to erase more of your memories compared to the others. Very well. I'll tell you everything.
That's the thing. Junko remembered. Junko knew what was up. Ultimate Analyst, we can't fuck around with Kyoko because she's the detective and she has a personality like she does.
Just to remind everyone, Chihiro is in this scene as well.
I've said a few things, it's just Chihiro's not important in the scene.
She, also getting this massive exposition dump, on everything.
Well, depending on how the scene goes, maybe Chihiro can explain this to the others.
So basically... With what? Yeah?
Yeah, I assume you did say the I'll tell you everything line. And after Mukuro placed...
Did you not hear me? I said that.
Yeah, and after Mukuro placed Makoto back on the bed, she began to mechanically tell a story. The story of a girl who wanted to fill the world with despair. A girl who only felt truly happy when she was filled with despair herself. A plan for despair that began 2 years ago, or perhaps even earlier than that.
Yeah, you're telling me she started this plan as soon as she hit Hope's Peak? What? This wasn't a lifelong idea? It depends.
I think there's elements, right? It's earnestly versus she made moves towards it over time, but clearly. But when did it really kick off?
Junko
seemingly was when she got to the school.
Took her 2 years to bomb the world. Goddamn.
I mean, there were elements in place.
That I can believe.
Through her entire life, but that was when, that's. It seems like when she got to the school was when she really kicked things off, and obviously she was brewing things. Because that's the thing, from what we know from DR0, she was cooking up a lot of stuff. But she didn't... It seemed like she didn't really have what she felt was the silver bullet until the school decided to do some crazy cover-up shit.
Yeah.
And then it was like, okay, this can be a... She didn't have a starting point, and then until she found a starting point. But she was already cooking before that. Like, she was cooking, but then you know, she kind of pieced things together even further from there.
Matsuda before that point.
I mean, she had elements.
Mm.
There were definitely things in place, but, you know, she kind of... Yeah, it was just... Then she was able to eventually go full throttle at a certain point. How the world was currently ruled by despair itself. Mukuro provided a brief summary of everything she knew about the plan. That's why it sounded even more outrageous than Kyoko had expected. And through her story, Kyoko was able to learn the truth about herself. Who she is and why she came to the academy.
An entire game worth of development all dumped in one chapter. I like this.
It is fun, but that's the thing, right? Like, you could do this in an if story after the story. Yeah, like, it just doesn't matter. Obviously, you would never write the original story like this, but in this context, it works. The fate of the Academy's real headmaster. Kyoko's father.
A little bitch.
As you listen to Mukuro's story, Kyoko remained silent the whole time. Her face went blank when she learned her father had died. Perhaps her memory loss and the absurdity of the situation helped lessen the impact somewhat. There was no guarantee Kyoko would even believe her story. After Mukuro finished speaking, Kyoko stayed silent. With her unrivaled mental prowess, she was able to listen to Mukuro's story without interrupting her or dismissing it as nonsense. Mukuro continued.
You don't have to believe me. After all, any pictures that could prove my story are with Junko. All I can do is talk.
After she said that, Mukuro silently walked toward the entrance to the nurse's office. When she arrived at the door, she spoke again without looking back.
But even if you don't believe me, you still listen to everything I had to say. So, Kyoko, Chihiro, thank you.
After apologizing in such a strange tone of voice, she turned to the bed where Makoto lay, breathing weakly.
Make sure Makoto stays rested. When he wakes up, make sure you give him some sports drinks from the dining hall or supply room to drink. Please? Of course, but what are you going to do now?
Asked Kyoko. Mukuro straightened herself up.
Despair. What?
Nani?
I need to make Junko feel despair. Basically get her off.
Crazy way to put it, but maybe not entirely inaccurate. Mukuro continued mumbling to herself.
I'll make her toes curl. That is the only way to end this.
Sure. Mukuro continued mumbling to herself as she opened the door.
Wow, Mukuro, to be honest, I think you beat me in having the most fucked up family in all of Japan. I mean, what the actual fuck?
I'd love to know about their parents, however many there were.
What does that mean?
Well, again, different last names, so it's... however it was, there's a very good chance they're half-sisters, we don't know.
But they're twins.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, I actually derped on that. I mean... God.
Exactly.
I guess that is possible. I actually don't know if that's possible. That might not be possible biologically.
Maybe it's just one took daddy's name, one took mommy's name.
That's most likely what it is, but yeah.
Now that really would be fucking wild, add to the despair course. Especially
But
when
it would be interesting to see what they were
we
like.
know from the
And
three times that
whether or not they were
was
killed by
homeless at
Junko.
one point.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if Junko killed her parents, but again, I have no basis for that, other than just Junko being Junko.
Such an early age.
But it wouldn't surprise me given the clear, like, crazy amount of freedom that both of them clearly had at a young age.
The freedom to be homeless.
Yeah, literally. I mean, like, she went off and joined the military. Or not even the military, a fucking, like a mercenary special ops group, basically.
Yeah. No, there is something you can do.
Mukuro stopped walking as Kyoko spoke firmly.
Regardless of whether Monokuma is really Junko Inashima or Beshiki Madurai, if you're dealing with him, you won't be able to lay a finger on Makoto. I don't fully trust you, but if you're really concerned for Makoto's life, I'm willing to work with you. That's quite a lot of affection you've shown Makoto just there. Unlike
I think it's more just generalized to any of them, because she knows that Makoto clearly wasn't part of this.
Obviously. Little bitch.
Yeah. I mean, that's what Junko tried to sell everyone.
Unlike Bashiki,
Yeah.
probably abandoned him already. Right? I'm sorry. I don't really work well with others.
Mukuro looked away, then bowed her head as she left the nurse's office.
But, I'll do my best, Dan. Now she's just being coy and nervous and like, bro. I don't, like, interact with humans much, so...
Yeah.
Like, sentimental shit is, like, kind of out of my element.
It goes a sense beyond that, where it's like, it rarely has, like you said, like, there's rarely a sentimental nature to it. Like, when she's talking to someone, it's usually very, like, for lack of a better term, like, business-like, right? Like, when she's doing Junko's orders, she is, you know, she's following orders, right? So it's, like, very...
Yeah, she has a guide to base on. She's not really good.
Whereas this is
to draw from.
This is like a regular interaction with another human being. Whereas most of the time she's detached from the situation and just doing what she's told.
Yeah.
The doors closed and Mukuro was gone.
What the fuck, Kyoko? What is going on? I mean, 2 years, all of this. Blech. And Chihiro passed out without a single word.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm sorry for involving you in something so dangerous, Chihiro.
As she continued to organize the vast amount of information that Mukuro gave her, Kyoko turned to Chihiro, who was still working on Monokuma. As she trembled with fear, Chihiro slowly looked back at Kyoko. Kyoko? About what Mukuro said just now.
You have to be way more specific than that. You just dumped 2 years worth of lore on us.
Chihiro's face turned pale as she struggled with her words, and Kyoko tried to calm her down.
We can determine if anything she told us was true or not. There's no need to be afraid.
But Chihiro shook her head and returned to looking at her laptop. I think she's telling the truth.
What are you basing that on?
Well, it looks like Monokuma is really being controlled from the outside. Part of Monokuma's system had been connected to Chihiro's laptop, and she was analyzing the data within its control system. Yeah, this is something that never happened in the game, or like, Chihiro never had access to Monokuma like that. We don't get access to like a dead Monokuma until way after Chihiro's dead.
Yeah, chapter 5, I believe that was.
Yes, it was chapter 5.
The night taking
and it was then... Yes. And it was then that, yeah, at that point we were down to the people that would survive the game. And it was then that the Ultimate Programmer noticed something unusual about it. This control program, I thought it would be another year before the system became fully operational, because 2 years have passed. Yes.
It was another year.
Ironic. Chihiro started trembling so much that she was unable to continue speaking. So it's technology that Chihiro's aware of, but also was aware wasn't finished, well, wasn't potentially, but knew that it was also, again, incomplete at the time that they joined the school.
For her to have a basis on how long it would take to complete probably means she wasn't on it.
But that's also a pretty good basis of like this technology literally shouldn't exist, which does add a lot of credence to the crazy story from her perspective. But yeah, said Kyoko, proposing another possibility to avoid jumping to conclusions.
It's possible that a similar program was being developed in secret.
And that's also fully possible, but if Chihiro is confident, that lends itself more to Chihiro being like the leading expert on this specific program.
In the
but Chihiro adamantly shook her head and said, "No, that's not it.
This is my program. That fucking thief.
It just looks really familiar to me."
Yep.
Well, we know it wouldn't be the first time that... I'm sure it wasn't just... I'm sure, like, obviously programming is only part of making high-end tech, but I am sure that, yeah, multiple people's talents were stolen for it, just like... but we also know it wouldn't be the first time that Junko directly used Chihiro's work to do things, as we know from ZR2.
Yep.
To cook the only thing that might actually be better than Junko and Oshima, which is alter ego Junko.
Oh, that's your stance, is it?
I'm saying if anything could beat Junko, it's Junko Monica.
Wow.
Like, I mean, come on, let's be real. Like, the only way you could make it better is by, like, in her own words, becoming an AI and transcending humanity.
Hell.
As was always Junko's destiny, of course.
The immortal.
Kyoko looked over... Oh yeah. Kyoko looked over Chihiro's trembling shoulders to peer at the screen, and that's when she noticed.
This program.
Chihiro, did you create this?
Chihiro, why are you asking that to yourself?
Oh, yeah. I didn't realize... Yeah, Chihiro did have a response. It was ... Oh. All the Ultimate Programmer could do was nod weakly.
That bitch stole my work.
First floor, main hall. Mukuro continued moving forward and was fortunate enough to not encounter Sakura or Mondo.
Sakura,
With
yes,
no
Mondo
interference...
probably wouldn't have been a problem.
Probably at least be a nuisance, though.
No.
With no interference from anyone, she made her way to a hall as large as the gym and stood before the sealed main entrance. Suddenly, Monokuma popped out from the shadows to block her path. Within the hall that resembled a nuclear bomb shelter, replete with all manner of heavy weaponry, Monokuma's silhouette was conspicuously out of place here. His laughter rang throughout the room as he wiggled his body from side to side. What are you doing at the nurse's office? Did you eliminate your rival for Makoto's affections?
I'm gonna take that as canon, I don't care what anyone else says. That happened in the 2 years.
I mean, either way, Junko would fall. Or did you help play matchmaker instead?
One rival, by the way. One.
Well, there was only one there because, I mean, like I said, of all the people that we know potentially sit for Makoto, Chihiro's not on the list.
Yeah. I'm doing like Sayaka's still alive in this one though.
Sure, but yeah, I mean, any other potential ones weren't there, so. Either way, don't you think it's kind of adorable to put Makoto and Kyoko in this kind of situation together? Damn, such a troll.
I know, right?
If this were a suspense film, those two would be the last couple standing.
That's also true. Although ironically, 2 pairs of ships survived the killing game.
I know. Well, I mean, what? You're not about Hiro impregnating Hina?
I feel like neither of them are intelligent enough to procreate.
Honestly, fair.
Like, the baby might be at the level of Makoto's IQ, but even then...
This was a horror film. They'd just die anyway. The killer was alive all times. Goes the blood. Goes the meat. A huge fan of endings where the characters think they're gonna live, but they're really headed to a final death. Tenation.
That's a reference even I understand.
Wait, what's Tenation?
Never seen those movies, but I do know of them.
I think I've seen, I don't even know if I've seen the whole thing, but I think I've seen one.
Damn, for you to
But, yeah, pretty...
That must have been garbage.
No, I have no idea, honestly. I feel like, maybe it's just osmosis, though. Despite Monokuma's angry complaints, Mukuro remained unperturbed. She continued to stare icy daggers at Monokuma, as if she was waiting for him to finish speaking. Well, anyway, I'm just so sad right now. The regulation-breaking delinquent is disrupting the harmony of this peaceful academy.
I know, right? Probably not the best idea to go right to the location that has a Gatling gun chained on the wall.
Yeah, it's almost like this is part of Mukuro's plan or something. It is kind of weird. I can't even keep one of my students from running wild. To say goodbye to your incompetent headmaster. I'm going to use Monokuma Evolution to become a big magnum headmaster and mold you into a decent student.
Hot? Question mark?
Potentially. As soon as he said that, Monokuma extended his claws and waddled toward Mukuro. I'm gonna mold you, then I gotta kill you first. Right as he finished speaking, Monokuma suddenly charged at Mukuro like a spiked volleyball. But Mukuro was faster and dodged Monokuma's attack. She jumped back, keeping her distance from Monokuma just in case his claws could extend even longer. Just then, a shadowy figure appeared next to her.
Who be thinking? Sakura?
I guess. Unless it's Junko, but I doubt it.
No, she can't control Monokuma outside of...
Yeah, it's gotta be Sakura, then. Mukuro twisted her body to its limits and just narrowly evaded the figure's attack.
Fuck me, Sakura and Monokuma against...
I guess it could be Genocide Jack.
No, they tied her up.
Yeah, but who knows what happened since.
A portion of the students stayed behind to watch her.
Yeah, I know. When she landed on the floor, but I think Sakura is definitely most likely. When she landed on the floor, she immediately saw...
Oh, just another Monokuma.
That makes sense. So what does the immortal killer want, anyway? Are you gonna tell the others the truth and escape with them? Even though you know what the outside world is like right now? So they're like echoing, because it's, I was gonna say, because they're double quotation marks, so they're speaking in unison, yeah. 2 Monokumas were speaking to Mukuro in unison. Honestly, I don't mind if you do that. I can just imagine the look on everyone's face when they discover the truth. It fills me with such heart-throbbing excitement. One might even say it's a heart-throbbing panic at the school trip. Wait, this is the wrong game for that. Two Monokumas continued to speak in stereo sound. You said you'd destroy my plans, but there's no happy ending waiting for you, no matter which route you take.
Unless both routes lead to a destination for you.
And you only have yourself to blame for that.
Wet thigh inducing despair.
I need some of that. I mean, what? Tell me you thought they'd be grateful to you. Even if you guys escape here, do you think they'll forgive you when they get a whiff of that nasty air outside? Some of them might prefer to stay in the school, and some of them might resent you for being kind and showing them the truth.
I don't know, that was a little, like... That was a little iffy in the explanation for DR1, because she said, like, the air was toxic, but our characters were able to survive and leave the school anyway. Without gas masks or equipment or whatnot, so...
I mean, we don't know the specifics of how bad it was, or, again, we really don't know much.
Bad, according to Junko.
Yeah, but we just don't... Yeah, we don't know the specifics of that. But then again, this is all your fault anyway, so it doesn't really matter what they think of you. Monokuma made a little mistake. Despite facing down two Monokumas, Mukuro's expression didn't waver. She understood that controlling two Monokumas simultaneously was a piece of cake for Junko.
It's just like controlling an NPC in a video game.
Mukuro drew an arm-length metal bat from seemingly nowhere and readied herself. Metal bar, sorry. It was the remains of the IV stand from the nurse's office, sharpened into a pointed weapon. With her weapon in hand, Mukuro responded in a cold, mechanical tone.
That's fine. I'm already used to that.
None of the fear she felt when Monokuma suggested that Makoto would blame her appeared on her face. Her path was clear to her now, and she calmly issued her demand to Monokuma.
Junko, open the gates.
The shock of such a straightforward demand left both Monokumas momentarily speechless, but soon they replied. Huh? Why?
So we can all leave together.
Another straightforward answer. Both Monokumas faced each other and began gesturing as if they were whispering to one another.
I guess that's the first time anyone's had Junko Enoshima genuinely flabbergasted. Like,
I mean, to be fair,
what?
She did make a comment earlier that, like, I can't even predict you anymore. Like, what the fuck is going on?
I know, right? Almost like this is an if route in a video game or something. We've completely gone off course.
I mean, yeah, there's that. It all started with that damn button. Mukuro knew their movements were intended to mock her. Unmoved, she continued to speak to Junko directly.
I think they'll understand if I show them the outside world. And then they'll stop doubting Makoto.
You always find new ways to disappoint me, Mukuro. Did you forget why the school has an air filtration system?
It's true that the air outside is polluted, but I don't think it'll kill us immediately. Apparently it didn't kill you at all. Besides, it's better than being trapped in the school and forced to kill each other.
Can you be so sure the others will go along with you? You know what I mean, right? Before the former headmaster got turned into space dust, he interviewed the others and they all agreed that they wanted to stay in the school. That was before their memories had even been erased. Do you really want to betray their wishes? Mukuro blinked and slowly stepped forward.
I don't really care about their feelings.
Damn. Huh?
Fuck 'em. You're all I need, Junko.
Oh.
So don't worry, I'm always watching out for you. I'm going to make sure you feel despair, and I'm going to make Makoto, and the others, happy. If you want to revel in your own despair that badly, then I'll trust the hope Makoto gave me, and take my chances with them instead of you.
Oh, that's hot. But Mukuro's brief but powerful words caused the Monokumas to turn and talk to each other again.
I don't know, you made some ballsy moves using the H word in front of Junko.
What, hot?
Hope.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. Oh my! This isn't look good at all, Monokuma A! This child doesn't realize her own hypocrisy. She's so disappointing that she's starting to reach critical mass, right, Monokuma B?
Jesus.
The two Monokumas looked at Mukuro, who seemed ready to destroy them, and said, "What do you think, Monokuma C?" Mukuro was taken aback by their question, but her instincts suddenly kicked in and she immediately dodged away. At that moment, a third Monokuma, claws extended, passed by where her head had been previously. This new Monokuma unit landed with several spins and faced Mukuro, who had clung to the remains of a surveillance camera still attached to the ceiling.
That sounds funny.
I agree with you both, A and B. The three Monokumas lined themselves up. Yeah, that's one thing that is very different from the second game, is we don't know how many, but to some extent, Junko is actually working with a limited number of Monokumas in this one.
Yeah, this time at least.
Because this is real life.
Pretty much fine. And she's already smashed out the surveillance cameras in the other rooms, so...
Yeah.
Junko's
to the students locked...
limited now.
Yeah. To the students locked inside the academy, this sight would have been akin to a nightmare. Run! That would be so annoying. Now there's three of them speaking in unison. The three units began speaking in perfect harmony as their 6 eyes looked up at Mukuro. Suddenly, they each jumped away in 3 separate directions and kicked off one of the walls. The path of each unit's triangular attack all converged on a single point, Mukuro, who was still clinging to the ceiling.
And keep in mind, half the other students are meant to be, quote-unquote, searching the school right now. And no one can hear this. Okay then.
She was surrounded by razor-sharp claws coming at her from different directions. But this situation wasn't even a nightmare to Mukuro. Compared to the time she fended off 3 assassins who had invaded her camp one night back when she was still a member of Fenrir, this was nothing.
Nice.
This thought crossed Mukuro's mind as she dangled from the ceiling with one hand and thrashed her limbs around like a tornado. Intercepted by this move, the Monokumas fell to the floor with a loud crash. Mukuro landed on the ground and chased after one of them, brandishing her metal bar. Suddenly, she stopped moving and took a huge leap back. One of the Monokumas exploded with a deafening roar. He had detonated the bomb inside of himself in an attempt to take Mukuro down with him. But thanks to her honed battlefield instincts, Mukuro managed to avoid the explosion. She looked toward the hallway, expecting the explosion to have attracted the attention of Sakura and others. But she didn't hear any footsteps approaching.
How convenient.
We're acknowledging it though, so something's probably happened then. Monokuma's voice rang from within the dense smoke. You don't have to worry. I already told the other students to assemble in the cafeteria.
Ah.
They were eager to follow my orders after I told them I disarmed the poison gas, and that a special police unit was coming to get them. Okay, Bashiki. I'm pretty sure Kyoko and others are all in the cafeteria by now.
Oh, I doubt it.
I'm sure Makoto was with them, too. I know Sakura will get too rough with him, but I'm sure Byakuya will torture Makoto once he wakes up.
Jesus. Even Byakuya has his limits, even if he is a fellow blonde.
Yeah, Byakuya only does that to dead bodies. I can just just imagine him rubbing salt or pouring soy sauce into his open wounds. Getting all hot and bothered right now.
Fuck me.
Yeah, you know, Juko gets off to some wild shit. As she What?
Okay.
Yeah. As she listened to Monokuma's overlapping voices, Mukuro tilted her head slightly and asked,
That was the response to fuck me.
Yeah, sure. I'm pretty sure they're gonna find out that you lied. Oh, wait, no. That's Mukuro.
I'm pretty sure they're going to find out that you lied about the special police unit. Are you really okay with that?
No worries! Oh
No
god, there's 4 quotes. There's 4.
Oh no.
Once I'm done with you, I don't care at all if they find out I was lying.
Huh?
You still don't get it? Oh my god, there's 5. You're such a disappointment! It suddenly dawned on Mukuro.
I forget, is she still up on the air hanging on the camera?
Trying to remember now. Possibly.
That sounds hilarious.
I don't think so, though. That's the reason why Monokuma didn't care if the students found out he lied. But rather that the voices of the Monokumas in the smoke were gradually increasing in number.
Oh, we're still in the smoke.
Oh god, that's like 9, I think? Maybe 10, probably 10. As the smoke started to clear, the shadows of 3 Monokumas appeared. The one that exploded couldn't have revived, so a new one must have come to take its place.
How many of these things did they make?
But there's no way Mukuro only heard 3 Monokumas talking just now. As if to prove her hearing had been accurate, the Monokumas suddenly made their move. The 3 Monokumas bent over and began twirling their upper bodies.
Oh.
From behind them, new Monokumas emerged, like after-images brought to life. This second row of Monokumas mimicked the earlier ones with only 1 frame of delay, revealing even more Monokumas behind them. Damn, she's just unloading the tank right now. Eventually, Mukuro realized that there were 3 rows containing 10 Monokumas each.
30 Monokuma, huh?
Did you know this is called a circle dance? Monokuma's 30 voices spoke in perfect harmony as they divulged information that had nothing to do with the current situation.
God, that sounds like torture.
Mukuro already knew that multiple Monokumas were positioned throughout the academy. But only Junko knew how many Monokumas actually existed. Mukuro had no way of knowing if these 30 Monokumas were part of a larger contingent. The flock of two-toned teddy bears continued to twirl around. Mukuro felt like she was being bombarded with hypnotic images. Interesting.
Right, not to mention the space that's taking up.
But faced with this abnormal sight, the Ultimate Soldier remained calm and maintained her focus. She was nothing like the girl who had panicked earlier in the gym when Makoto was impaled. As she stood before 30 emissaries of despair, she slowed her breathing and allowed her heart rate to accelerate. That's a great way to describe Monokuma. It was instinct, not fear or panic, that sent her blood racing throughout her body, speeding up the reaction time of her cells. As her senses sharpened, the Monokumas began speaking to her again. Don't worry, I'll make sure Makoto doesn't die.
Jesus Christ, how damn bad was she for Makoto?
As long as everyone lives, I can reset their memories as many times as I want.
Oh, that's horrifying.
Yeah. Well, they make a joke about that in the school mode in DR1.
Did I?
Yeah, the whole implication is that, oh, you guys have to make me Monokumas, but then I could just wipe your memories and start the thing over.
Oh, alright. So I guess it's
That's
possible
right!
canon.
Yeah. Imagine this is canon. This just takes place before DR1, depending on how it ends.
Yeah, she'll get rid
And
of
fucking
all
Mukuro
Mushi's
gets like,
memories too.
yeah, you just have to wipe us a little bit of Mukuro's memories and it actually would work, depending on how this ends.
My god, that would actually be hilarious.
That's right! All your effort, hope, dreams, and determination are going right in the garbage heap. The Monokuma's turn speaking in groups of 10.
The only thing is that she's broken most of the cameras in the school now.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is like you'd have to fix it and there'd be a process there. But it's hypothetically possible, not what I think is going to happen, but it could. As if the mastermind controlling the Monokumas wanted to show off her ability to manipulate them. However, the Ultimate Soldier knew what the true purpose behind all this was. She strained her ears to their limit and noticed a certain sound hidden among the Monokuma's voices. Mukuro's face remained perfectly still as she kicked off the floor. The moment she moved to the side, a roaring sound shook the entrance hall. The ceiling-mounted turrets in front of the gate started raining bullets down on Mukuro.
Jesus Christ, this is almost like a dungeon raid boss at this point. And somehow still losing.
Yep. The Monokumas were just the mastermind's decoy while she tried to blow her away. As if further trapping her, the Monokumas charged at Mukuro through the storm of bullets. Mukuro guessed that the mastermind programmed their movements in advance so they wouldn't get hit by a single bullet. She ran for the gates, evading waves of bullets and claws every step of the way.
Almost like she's an anime character.
Honestly. Programming 30 Monokumas and 2 turrets while also predicting Mukuro's escape route. This would be considered impossible for anyone, but Mukuro knew it was possible for Junko.
Yes.
Out here thinking she's Lelouch or something. So good.
Oh, Lelouch
As
is
Ultimate
nothing compared
Despair.
to Ultimate Despair.
Fair. As Ultimate Despair, she possessed despair-inducing abilities that surpassed the capabilities of any normal human. Her display of power was only for filling Mukuro with despair. Despair. The scene playing out in front of Mukuro was brimming with despair. The adorably deadly Monokumas laughed and danced like reapers as bullets whizzed through the air. It was despair to the point of absurdity, and it was all for Mukuro. Yeah, I see what she's getting at. Yeah, I see what Mukuro is thinking. But in the presence of such despair, Mukuro felt a strange serenity. Yeah.
For me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Junko's doing all this for me? Oh god, simp mode activated. Junko.
It's so funny.
Are you watching me right now?
Their dynamic is so interesting.
It is.
It's so good, though. In the end, perhaps Mukuro really was a disappointment. She clenched her fist.
Junko, thank you.
The sound of gunfire overshadowed her whisper, and Mukuro felt completely silent. As a member of Ultimate Despair, Mukuro's heart was filled with joy. Though she was filled with emotion, her eyes had lost their sparkle. Silence filled the air. Even the gunfire from the turret seemed to stop for a moment. That was only an illusion to the one controlling Monokuma. Something strong enough to silence the gunfire and avoid being picked up by the sensors spread through the school, with Mukuro at the center.
I'll make sure I do this right.
With that final thought, she closed her mouth and turned off her emotions. As she ran through the waves of scorching bullets, the air around her began to grow colder.
Do it.
As this coolness spread into her heart, began to beat in a mechanical fashion. Several seconds later, Mukuro's body and mind melded together and became one with her surroundings. Her temperature now dominated the battlefield. Despair, bullets, and Monokumas filled the area.
Let's see what it really means to be the ultimate soldier.
Mukuro predicted their movements and jumped into the air without any hesitation. One of the Monokumas jumped at her, but she avoided his attack, kicked his body, and launched herself in midair. Bullets pierced through the space Mukuro was previously occupying, striking the following Monokuma right through its internal bomb. The impact of the bullet caused it to explode, sending fiery Monokuma parts everywhere. As she rode the blast wave, Mukuro balanced herself in midair as she kicked away 2-3 Monokumas that leapt after her. She moved so gracefully she was practically flying.
Hot. Oh, what the hell?
In contrast, the Monokumas threw themselves into the path of oncoming bullets, exploding one after the other. Some of them exploded near the main entrance, but their blasts didn't even leave a scratch.
Okay, is it really impossible for them to hear this at the cafeteria? Because there's a lot
I don't
of
know.
bombs going off.
Yeah. With full control over the entrance hall, Mukuro evaded bullets and confirmed that the bombs inside Monokuma weren't enough to destroy the door. But she refused to stop. Mukuro needed to get information on what she must do to escape the academy. She had no desire to kill Junko. Mukuro wanted to fill Junko with despair by instilling hope into the future of Makoto and the other students.
Yay.
That was Mukuro's ultimate goal, yes it is. Get information. In contrast to her determination, her mouth stayed shut. But this did not mean Mukuro was not currently speaking to Junko. This situation, this battle of death and destruction, was a conversation of sort for Mukuro. One she was much more fluent in than regular conversation. All she knew how to do was fight. She thought she wasn't interested in anything else. She thought she didn't need anything else. All Mukuro needed to be was a sword to fulfill her sister's desire for despair. That purpose alone was the crux of her existence, and she lived her entire life convincing herself that she couldn't do anything else. That's why power was like a language to Mukuro. A battle to the death revealed more about her heart than mere words ever could. Her words were in the wind of savagery that blows across the battlefield, uprooting others who also speak the language of violence. This was true even against her sister. When Junko would berate her sister, Mukuro couldn't talk back. All she could do was cower and apologize profusely.
Aww.
But it's different now. For this first time, Junko was using a language her sister actually recognized. The child of despair who tore the world apart was speaking to her sister with the language of power. Mukuro's heart filled with joy.
Jesus Christ, she's really getting after this, huh?
Yeah, for sure. For that reason, she strengthened her focus on her conversation with Junko, and that emotion began to gradually disappear. On this frigid battlefield, Mukuro continued her heated conversation. Endless rounds of despair fired from the school's turrets. But Mukuro's words intercepted every last violent shot that threatened to shatter her body and mind in half. She quickly realized that the Monokumas hadn't decreased in number at all, no matter how many she kept destroying. Okay, she has quite a few then.
But we're still lowering that count.
Not only that, she noticed that more Monokumas had been joining the fray until there were nearly 50 of them for Mukuro to fight.
Nice.
But Mukuro's resolve wouldn't break so easily. As she continued to wield her power, her heart began to fill with something that was neither hope nor despair. She learned despair from being abandoned by Junko, and she learned hope from her acts of violence. For Mukuro, who had no interest in this world, this small space in front of the gate was a reflection of her life, a representation of her perfect world. This disappointing girl, filled with endless disappointment, who knew of no other way to live, continued her lonely dance. She surrendered herself to the rhythm of despair, which accompanies the music of hope.
And that's it.
Computer room's innermost area, Monokuma room.
Oh, we're actually getting a Junko POV.
Peak. How much time had passed? The surveillance cameras at the gates were capturing footage of countless Monokumas falling at the hands of a child who fought like a raging demon.
I wonder if they're going to tell us right now how many there are.
The Monokumas bolstered their numbers, and now 100 of them were trying to sink their claws into Mukuro.
You know, if this room really was like, I don't know, like a game room, and there really was a Chiaki, she would be drooling at this. It really does look like a game room.
I mean, that's one way to look at it, so yeah, I definitely think you should be into it, to say the least.
We've got that gamer chair right there.
Oh yeah.
I like how it looks like the buttons are like paws.
Whatever those two things are at least, yeah.
Like the controls for moving Monokuma about.
I'm sure all of these are different types of controls and various other bullshit, but yes.
So fun.
Most of them were running on auto. Yeah, I'm sure it's one of those things too where like practically no one could actually do it. It kind of reminds me, ironically, I made the reference to him earlier, but yeah, this is probably one of those things that's so advanced and there's so much calculating going on, at least when it comes to the more extreme things that Monokuma can do, that it's like basically no one could even operate this thing on their own.
Oh, you know that Junko's moving at light speed right now, getting this.
Oh yeah, she's going full anime. Like I said, very Lelouch-esque in a lot of ways.
After images of her keep moving around.
Most of them were running on autopilot, reacting to her movements based on prior information they had received in advance. But then yeah, there's all the calculations and programming there too.
There's 100 How are we fitting in that room? Because like Monokuma's pretty damn big.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bro.
But despite standing before hundreds of mechanical adversaries, Mukuro's face showed no fear.
One could say she even looked excited at the idea. The mere notion of facing her sister in a manner that she understood well.
Yep. It was like she was having a conversation with her sister for the first time in her life. That's a crazy way to look at it, but that's how Mukuro is looking at it. She hadn't sustained a single injury, giving her a presence that was nearly divine to behold.
And even more surprising, her damn wig still hadn't fallen off. What, did she sew that thing on? What the fuck?
Though Sakura Ogami was powerful enough to injure her arm, Mukuro in her current state could potentially fight Sakura to a draw now, without relying on firearms.
Oh, but really like confirming that she wouldn't win in a one-on-one unless like going Super Saiyan mode.
Well, this is supposed to be like peak Mukuro, I guess, because she's like accepted herself in a way that she never did in the canon. She took complete control of the battlefield, taking in her surroundings as if they were a part of herself. She dodged attacks from the rear as though she had eyes on the back of her head, and stabbed through Monokuma's weak points with her metal bar. No matter where the attacks came from, Mukuro deflected them all as if her skin were covered in eyes.
Nice.
Describing her as ultimate no longer did her justice. Mukuro had transcended the boundaries of humanity and became a pure killing machine.
Let's go. We've got ultimate soldier now, baby. Super Saiyan, beyond the limits of mere flesh and bone. An unimaginable, incomprehensible power that lies beyond the limiter.
But despite
she's basically become Garo.
Sure, but despite that,
who's also a martial artist.
A lot of people in that shit know. Kind of.
Not really.
Even though she understood the ludicrous power her sister possessed, Junko was not afraid. She felt not one iota of fear. After all Junko can feel is despair. She even started to admire her sister's attempt to fill her with despair.
Ooh.
That sentiment quickly filled Junko with an orgiastic ecstasy of despair.
Never heard that before. Orgiastic.
It might be orgiastic, I'm not sure.
Still never heard of it before.
Yeah. Junko knew. She knew that Mukuro was neither hope nor despair. She was just a phenomenon. A disappointing girl who no longer understood herself, who only knew how to be violent because it was all she could believe in anymore. Mukuro had become an avatar of destruction beyond that of any military force. She couldn't even be considered a soldier anymore. She was a natural disaster, like a typhoon or a tornado. Or perhaps, like gravity, she was now a fundamental force of the universe that only existed to bring despair to Junko.
My god.
The mastermind enjoyed watching her sister go all out. If Mukuro destroyed everything and ruined her life, Junko would still be comforted by the despair. She could just go right ahead and overpower her. Junko considered this for a few seconds until...
I wouldn't say even Junko could quantify just how much power Mukuro has at her disposal. After all, as you just said, she's gone beyond the limit of an ultimate now. She's a force of nature.
Well, it kind of goes back to that whole idea of, like, the whole concept is kind of, like, ridiculous. Like, the whole ultimates and hope and despair. And, like I said, that's a huge part of DR2's thematically. And this game is, or this story is also doing the same thing. Where it's like, none of these, in the end, it's like, you know, they're just labels we put on people.
Yeah.
Or concepts. A familiar, hopeless habit reared its head. Her habit of getting so bored that it made her sick.
No, you can't be getting bored of such an awesome climactic battle.
That's the thing, it's like this, she acknowledges how amazing this is. But then...
the climax.
But then it's like, but then it gets lame. So quickly, and that's like her thing. The girl who had been grinning as she watched the screen now bore a look of calm stoicism, and she reached for the microphone connected to Monokuma's speakers.
God, she gets bored this easy. I can't imagine what would happen if she watched Fairy Tail.
Mukuro was no longer human anymore. But Junko knew how to bring her back. Oh shit!
Oh.
It was a simple feeling, really. And with that hopeless feeling for Mukuro in mind, the mastermind said just one word.
What do we think that one word is?
It might just be Mukuro.
I was thinking that too, but...
Because she hasn't referred to her by name as Monokuma, I think, this entire time. At least in this scene. This previous scene, or it's really the same scene, it's just change of POV. Yeah, because one word, like, she can't say, I love you, she can't, like, yeah, one word, I think it's just gotta be Mukuro. I can't think of anything else it could be.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. And of course, the key being, it's not Monokuma saying it. Mukuro?
Damn, she really got Junko to break character twice.
I know, that's crazy. I'm assuming this has to be. They're switching. I love this. I love this in front of the main entrance. Mukuro? That voice. It was calling her name. Instead of using... Definitely hardcore mistress right here. Instead of using Monokuma's voice filter, Junko's natural voice was coming out of a Monokuma unit. That's all it took. With one word, Mukuro Ikusawa stopped being a force of nature and became a person again.
No, not the debuff move. That's cheap.
I mean, to be fair, it would probably work on me too, let's be honest.
As if you'd ever get her to say that.
That's also fair. I'm not that arrogant. Monokuma would not miss the opportunity. As if moving to the beat of Mukuro's shaking heart, a torrent of claws leapt to attack her. But Mukuro trusted her instincts and twisted her entire body to fend off the attacks, leaving her with only a few scrapes here and there. Also, that's pretty much more progress than before, though, for Junko. But the despair wasn't over yet. The ultimate despair didn't waste any time making her next move.
I don't know if this is Junko or not.
I don't know either. My gut feeling is it's not, but I'll still pretend it is. Mukuro, watch out!
Huh?
As soon as Mukuro heard that voice, her mind went completely blank. I wonder if it's... Yeah, I was gonna say, is it Makoto? There was no mistaking it. That was Makoto's scream. The scream that saved her from the spears of Gungnir and changed her destiny.
No, that's wrong. Nice.
Wow. It took her a tenth of a second to realize that voice was just a sound clip that Junko had replayed.
Oh!
Yeah.
Nice.
Goated. Peak. But it was more than enough time to drag Mukuro, who had regained her humanity, into despair. Right when she recovered from her moment of shock, Monokuma appeared behind her and roundhouse kicked her in the temple. He twisted her head to roll with the blow, but at that moment a different Monokuma attacked her from the opposite side with a headbutt.
Oh shit.
And as soon as Mukuro dodged that attack, 3 Monokumas launched simultaneous dropkicks and knocked her to the ground. Ugh. The fact that they weren't using their claws meant they weren't trying to kill Mukuro right away. Before she could stand up again, dozens of Monokumas waiting for her on the floor climbed on top of Mukuro and pinned her limbs.
Oh. Oh.
Oh, did Junko get her? One of the Monokumas waddled over to Mukuro as she lay face down on the floor and laughed.
Time to shove these claws where the sun don't shine.
I can see her saying that.
Too common a phrase for Junko to say.
Fair. Pretty girl getting pinned by all these me's? I wonder if I should feel more excited about this.
You think I'm pretty?
I know. See, Monokuma would call her pretty. Junko definitely would. That's how you know we're back to Monokuma.
It's the closest you're ever gonna get.
Yeah.
Revel in it while you can.
Honestly. Don't make that face. I wanted to kill you. I just pump you full of bullets right now. But I don't think the audience watching this on TV would like that ending very much.
What are you gonna do, stripper?
That'd be crazy. I need to make sure I do it the right way this time.
What are you planning to do to me?
I know. I know it says in her emotionless voice, but I can't help but also imagine that in like a weirdly aroused tone. Mukuro asked in her emotionless voice. Monokuma guffawed and answered.
What she attempted to be an emotionless voice.
Yeah, that would be funny.
But we all know her real feelings came through very fast.
Yeah. I'm just gonna stick to the original plan and make you play the killing game at this school. I'll erase everyone's memories again. Make them redo the introduction and the entrance ceremony again.
And cut. That's the end of If.
Dude, if that is actually where this goes, and we learn at the end of this that If is actually canon, I will fucking kill myself.
I mean, that's very Danganronpa themed of you.
The worst part is, too, is like, that, there would be, like, yeah, I guess it would. Never mind. I just give up on everything. In typical Monokuma fashion, he leaned his face toward Mukuro. It'd be boring if we had to redo everything. This time I'll have you participate as Mukuro Ikusawa.
That would be cool.
That's like acknowledging her, though, which says a lot about how Junko feels about everything. I'll take away even more of your memories like I did to that irritating detective girl. You'll just be a poor little girl with no memory at all.
Damn.
As Monokuma talked and wiggled his body from side to side, the other Monokumas danced and twirled around. Amid this fantastical scene, Monokuma continued to describe his hopeless plan in a nonchalant manner. At first you'll be the girl with amnesia, and everyone will feel so sorry for you. But as they unravel the mystery of this academy, they'll find out who you really are. It's exciting to think how they'll treat you when that happens.
Okay, stop teasing me with scenarios that are never gonna happen, because that sounds pretty based.
It does. Well, you never know. I mean, there is still V3, I guess. Knowing you, you'll probably kill someone purely on instinct. Maybe I should rethink my rules about self-defense.
Oof. No, right? She'd kill the whole class by a mistake.
That'd be funny.
Oh, that'd be great. You can't.
Her memories would be erased. Yeah, I know. I know where she's going immediately. There was nothing she could do about her classmates hating her. But losing even her childhood memories would mean her connection to Junko would be severed as well, yep. Even if Mukuro had no interest in the world, that was unbearable even for her. I heard a new game. No, this is definitely Junko.
Oh.
Or Monokuma. I've heard of new games before, but this is the first time we'll get to see a new game minus. Should I tie you up for fun?
Yeah, no. Oh, no.
Very convincing there, Mukuro. Maybe we should make this game even more masochistic. Forget hard mode, very hard mode, and Inferno mode. Wanna just skip ahead to impossible mode? Maybe I'll erase your memories. I drive you on a motorcycle, pummel you with 1,000 baseballs, burn you at the stake, and crush you with an excavator.
That's just all the canon executions.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't make up
at least the first 4 chapters.
Couldn't make up a few new ones in case other people, like, killed.
Well, we gotta be fourth wall breaking by using the ones that we know about. Monokuma knew, or Mukuro knew what Monokuma was talking about.
Why do all the final executions have to involve crushing?
He was describing the tools they had prepared for the various executions they had planned for the students. After everyone introduces themselves, they'll walk around the school grounds and eventually find a flat-chested girl with amnesia.
Damn! Really?
I had to throw that in there, huh, Monokuma?
I need to relook at the sprite, but I don't think I'd describe it like that.
Covered in bandages with Fenris tattoo on her right hand. I bet a certain fan base might get off on that.
I'm not quite sure what that's referring to.
Like, people that are into abuse? I don't know.
I was thinking like a certain, like series fan base or something, if that was a reference.
No. I think it's a reference to like in kind of in like how in DR2, like in chapter 6. I think it's chapter 6. I think it was in the final trial. It might have been the 5th one. I'm pretty sure it's the final trial where Monokuma makes a joke about how Sonia makes a comment about how she's not feeling so well, and Monokuma makes a comment about, why don't you just let it out? I'm sure a select few would, yeah. So it's like, again, it's like people that are into some like pretty extreme stuff. This is just in a different sense. For a game, that would increase sales by 500%!
Nice!
Monokuma sounded like he was joking. Everything he said was deadly serious. As evidence, Mukuro heard a rumbling sound off in the distance. Well then, your sweet ride is on its way!
Wait, what?
Based on the engine's noise, Mukuro surmised that it was the large motorcycle that was supposed to be used for one of the executions. The time to bring this all the way from the punishment room, so you better be grateful!
Oh god, we're going with execution number 2.
The sound of the roaring engine grew louder and louder, like the approaching footsteps of death. Mukuro wondered how Monokuma would drive it with such tiny arms and legs, but then she remembered he was dealing with an ultimate despair. Junko would make the impossible possible just to bring about despair. That's an interesting description there, because it's not like she didn't say she was dealing with the ultimate despair, like specifically like Junko in this case, but just generally an ultimate despair would make the impossible possible just to bring about despair.
Yeah.
A despair that went hand in hand with Mukuro's fate.
Did I fail? I couldn't. Fill Junko with despair? I couldn't save Makoto and the others?
Questions raced through Mukuro's mind.
God, why am I such a simp?
Honestly. But she wasn't able to answer them. There's no way she could have answered them so easily. After all, she was still alive. The sound of the motorcycle grew closer and closer, as if it was threatening to break Mukuro's spirit. Suddenly, Monokuma stopped moving. The other Monokumas continued doing their automatic movements. As a strange event unfolded, Mukuro noticed something. The motorcycle had suddenly gone quiet. After a few seconds, the engine exploded to life and began to approach even faster than before.
I'm about to say, was there a fucking power cut? What happened?
My first thought was, did Chihiro manage to do something?
Maybe.
Only a few seconds later, what appeared in front of the main entrance was an enormous motorcycle that plowed through groups of Monokumas like a predator hunting its prey. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god! The rider of this motorcycle was none other than Mondo Awada.
Oh my god, he fucking hijacked it.
Even better.
Bro saw a motorcycle and just went into a fucking frenzy.
Dude, that's so good.
That is hilarious. What?
And I can just imagine he's, obviously he doesn't know these specifics, but I just imagine, analyze this bitch, and he just runs over a million Monokumas on his bike.
I want to know if that is specifically his bike.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Is it his bike? But it is now.
It is now.
Ultimate Biker Gang leader decided he wants that bike.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that deserves a Nani.
Nani.
Mukuro and Monokuma were both visibly shocked by this turn of events. Instead of addressing them, Mondo accelerated the motorcycle he stole from Monokuma directly toward Mukuro. Just before his front tire touched Mukuro, he popped a reverse wheelie and turned the entire motorcycle around. The back wheel swept over Mukuro's back, knocking away all the Monokumas that were pinning her.
I'm assuming Kyoko told everyone what Mukuro told her.
That would make sense. Who's Mondo?
I think I'm Mondo.
Go
Hey,
for it.
Can you stand?
Mondo asked and begrudgingly offered his hand to Mukuro.
Yeah, Kyoko must have said some stuffs.
Yeah.
What?
Confused, Mukuro took his hand and stood up.
What the nani?
Honestly.
What are you doing, Mondo? I was so close!
Oh. What are you doing, Mondo? I was so close! One of the Monokumas protested.
No, they both said that together.
That would be funny. Oh no, yeah, Mukuro was so close in another way.
As was Junko.
Possibly. Not in his normal voice, but as the hacker, Bashiki Madurai, of course.
Ah. Oh yeah, you're Bashiki or whatever, right?
That's right. I don't even know. That's right. Why are you helping a terrorist?
I ain't bragging about this or anything, but I have no clue if you or this girl is lying.
The veins in his temple began to bulge, and his cheeks flushed with anger, as Mondo said.
But still, ain't the type to just stand around while some idiot gangs up on a girl.
What are you saying? Get a hold of yourself! You must be experiencing Stockholm Syndrome. You've deluded yourself into thinking you're friends with the criminal who's taken you hostage. Monokuma tried to explain to Mondo, but he ignored him, took Mukuro's hand, and pulled her onto the back of the motorcycle.
Oh, shut the fuck up! I know nothing about Stockholms or syndromes, but don't go acting like you can boss me around. Nice.
Wow. As Mondo shouted, he revved the motorcycle as if he was using it to punctuate his words. The ceiling mounted turrets began moving, but the two disappeared before the turrets could take aim at the motorcycle.
So,
as they zoomed through the hallway, they're literally just zooming through the old building.
School.
That's so base. As they zoomed through the hallway, countless Monokumas, to be fair, Mondo probably did that at some point, chased after them, waving their claws wildly through the air.
It's so much worse to think we literally only have access to the first floor in all of this.
Yes.
We are so narrow in terms of space, it's actually hilarious.
Yep.
Why? Huh?
His voice was even louder than the sound of the engine.
Don't get the wrong idea. I don't trust you at all.
His voice, his lowered his voice slightly, as if he were whispering to himself.
Let's go, a genuine mistake in an official work. Woo, woo,
oh, there was another one earlier that I didn't actually read out as the mistake.
Damn, that must have crossed your insides.
Yeah, no, these happen. These are always, like, they're in, Danganronpa Ace Attorney, like, it's pretty common for games with VNs, especially when most of them are fairly long and all that shit. There's usually a few.
But still, I don't know why, but I felt like I could trust what he said. He?
Oh, so Makoto then it's gotta be, inquired Mukuro. There was no time for questions. The unit leading the Monokumas chasing after the motorcycle had almost caught up to them.
What? They're on a motorcycle.
Turbo mode, bro. Monokuma's cook. And then, like the enormous maw of some fearsome creature, they brandished their claws in perfect unison. At that moment, the motorcycle zoomed by a certain girl. A girl whose fighting ability surpasses that of any normal human. The strongest girl on Earth. With a fighting spirit that defied comprehension, the ultimate martial artist kicked off the floor. A sound even louder than the motorcycle's engine filled the room.
Jesus Christ. This is
when
so
Mukuro looked back, oh yeah, she saw Sakura landing on the floor, sending the pack of Monokumas flying several meters away.
Sakura.
If she heard Mukuro mumble her name, Sakura didn't acknowledge it. Like a statue of a fearsome god king, she calmed her breathing as she stood before the pack of Monokumas ready for battle.
Who's talking here?
Definitely Sakura.
Your pursuit methods seem unbecoming of one who claims to be the ultimate hacker.
An overpowering aura seeped from her skin, and her skin shimmered as an intense heat began to fill the hallway. We've actually seen that in the game.
Yeah, we have.
Unlike the power of Mukuro's sheer violence, this was the power of martial arts. Mukuro froze the air around her, and time along with it. But Sakura was generating enough heat to boil space itself as she stood before the Monokumas. With that heat stinging her back, Mukuro looked ahead. Ifumi and Chihiro were cautiously peeking from behind the door leading to the dorms, while Aoi and Taka kept watch from inside the building. After passing them by, Mondo slowed down the motorcycle as he reached the front of the cafeteria and turned into a complete stop. The other students looked warily at Mukuro.
I genuinely still can't get over this situation. Like, somehow Mondo was
It's
just
so
walking
ridiculous.
around, noticed the motorcycle and fucking hijacked it.
Something like that. Who fucking knows? It's so ridiculous. Even for Danganronpa, which is impressive. But among these students, Mukuro noticed two people who weren't regarding her with suspicion, Kyoko and Makoto. Yeah. One was Kyoko, who seemed to be studying the situation. The other one was a skinny boy who was leaning against Kyoko's shoulder.
Makoto.
Mukuro's lips began to tremble as she sat on the back of the motorcycle. Ignoring the pain coursing through his body, Makoto smiled at Mukuro and repeated what he said to her earlier.
I think this is you, because I'm Mukuro.
Yeah, maybe. I'm glad you're safe, Mukuro. Unfortunately, Mukuro was unable to realize her hope of filling her little sister with despair. Instead, she had successfully planted the seeds of hope into her fellow students.
Okay.
Makoto had barely regained consciousness while Mukuro was fighting the horde of Monokumas at the main entrance. When he woke up, he did something extremely simple. He talked about his memories. Most of the students were still skeptical even after listening to Mukuro's recorded confession on Chihiro's laptop. Obviously, they were still not entirely convinced at first when Makoto woke up, but I know all your secrets. After Sakura asked him a certain question, the ambiance completely changed. The ambience.
Makoto wet the bed until he was in 5th grade.
Based.
Dude, what conversation ever came up to where he admitted that?
Honestly.
It's like the most random fucking... It's like the most random, simple, like, secret, but honestly... What circumstance made him admit that?
Yeah, how does Juko know this information?
Honestly.
Of all the things. So this should be Sakura then, I assume?
Oh. Then beyond the walls of this school, the world is completely destroyed? You're saying there's no one else alive?
Makoto slowly sat up to answer Sakura's meek question. Don't worry, I'm sure Kenichiro is still safe.
Who?
That's the guy, that's her guy.
Oh!
Yeah.
That guy.
The one that... This fucker has to be in the series at some point.
Maybe.
Now we're referencing it in this work, too. I'm sure he'll still keep his promise to you. Sakura gasped. Kenichiro was the only man she couldn't defeat. A man who had promised her a rematch and made her one other promise as well.
How do you know that name? How do you know about that promise?
Because you told me.
No.
No. Makoto slowly corrected himself. You told all of us. Sakura was silent after hearing those words. But she then faced the other students and spoke in a loud, clear voice.
I'm going to trust Makoto. Assuming that's Hina.
God only knows. Literally could be any. Yeah, but good guess.
Do you want to be Hina?
Sakura! Yeah, sure. Though Aoi was shocked, Sakura continued to speak with determination.
What Makoto just said is something I kept locked away inside my memories. In fact, I was planning to keep that a secret until the day I died. But if I shared that secret, That means there was once a strong bond between Makoto, myself, and with my fellow students as well.
Makoto continued to talk in a gentle tone as one by one he exposed everyone's secrets. Though it couldn't have been good for his health, he continued to slowly talk about the memories that the other students no longer had. Definitely Toko.
Who's back in control, I guess. Why do you know about the story I'm planning to write? Are you a specialist Nen user who can predict the future?
I get that reference. It's Hifumi. It wasn't. I thought, could it be Hifumi? But it actually was Hifumi.
Huh.
Yeah. And he made a anime reference that I actually get. I'll just leave it at that. You already finished that story, Hifumi. You had me help you with inking.
Really? Him?
Interesting. Who's Hifumi?
I guess you.
Wait a sec! How do you know I extorted money from that girl? Wait, what? Wait, who's talking?
This is Hero. Because he was.
How do you know this is?
Because this was his free time event stuff.
Is that in his free time events that he extorted money from I guess it would be Fumihiko's sister.
He wanted oh my god, Kuzuryu clan.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Because he
wanted
to sell Makoto's organs or some shit to pay off its debt or something.
Yeah, well that's interesting.
Oh my god, that's actually, I never.
Wait a sec. Yeah, I know. How do you know? Yeah. I was totally focused on Kuzuryu clan.
Yeah.
How do you know I extorted money from that girl related to the Kuzuryu clan? Yep. Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
Because you even tried to sell my organs to them.
Oh my fucking god, okay.
That's great. Love that.
It's like the first smidget we've had of, like, the two classes, like, I guess, intermingling, I guess.
Well, it's interesting because, yeah, this is obviously a story from before he was at the school, too.
True, yeah. If we assume that class came here before 78.
I mean, either way, it's just an interaction he had with other relevant characters in this universe before he was at the school, whether they were or not.
I guess, yeah, the only one is, like, the sister. I doubt it was Peko or anything.
I guess it could. Yeah, I was just assuming. Yeah, I'm assuming the sister. But yeah, he did say related to the Kuzuryu clan, which might actually be a reference to Peko. Honestly,
it's not
his wounds were excruciating.
That nameplate says Nakoto, right?
I think it's just it looks like Makoto, but obviously I'm sure it's supposed to be an M if you look really close, but it does definitely look like an N. His words were excruciating, but even so, Makoto kept smiling and talking about their lives together. Let's just keep going, Makoto. Let's get all of them in. Why not?
Yeah.
As if it was his duty to do so now that he had regained his memories.
Does he remember any romantic relations with any of them?
Yeah, honestly. Give us the deets, Makoto. As the other students listened to him, they slowly began to realize something. The vivid accounts he was providing couldn't be explained as just passing knowledge. Clearly, some kind of bond between them had all had been erased. Only Byakuya remained cynical.
Of course.
There's no way I would have grown closer to any of you. It's likely that you're all secretly working together.
Of course.
Though Byakuya was still hostile towards Makoto's recollection of their memories. For the time being, he determined that Makoto wasn't actually a terrorist.
That's progress. That's very, tsundere.
We'll take it. Yeah, we'll take it. Mukuro had bought enough time for Makoto to wake up and share his memories with the others. Even if she hadn't intended to do that. It was still a small sliver of hope that she grasped tightly.
No, I want to keep hearing the memories. No.
Yeah, I know, that was fun.
Where's Celestia?
And now, as she looked at the boy who had smiled at her, Mukuro didn't know what to say. She couldn't think of anything to say at all. The battle was over, and Mukuro was now back to being a disappointing girl.
Meanwhile, Junko's just kind of taking a coffee break.
Fair. Deserved. She turned away from everyone's faces and apologetically climbed off the back of the motorcycle.
It's been a very long hour.
Sure. But Makoto saw her and slowly opened his mouth to say, "Thank you, Mukuro. You saved my life." Makoto gave her words of sincere gratitude between his weak breaths. Mukuro couldn't bring herself to look at him as she mumbled to herself.
Why?
Huh? Oh, the duh, huh? He said that so much in DR1. Huh?
What, the nanny? If
Yeah, that would have been... Yeah, it would have been better if he said what, because then I could at least make a joke out of it.
Then you already know what I did, right?
After regaining his memories and learning the truth, Mukuro should have been nothing but a hated traitor to him. Why would he smile at someone like her? The same reason he smiled at the remnants at the end of DR2.
Because he's an idiot.
Mukuro kept her head... Yes. Mukuro kept her head down. Makoto smiled as if he was unsure how to respond and said,
Jesus Christ, she could get away with murder and he would smile at her. Oh, wait.
She got away with a lot more than murder. I mean, just from what we know about, let alone what we all the... genocide is, a strong word, just because, a lot of the population is, seemingly dead, it was just, they just gave them a little push, that's all.
Is it fair to say that Mukuro's probably earned the mantle of, ultimate murderous fiend off of Jill now? Because I gotta imagine that body count's probably a little higher than hers.
I get your point, but even still, it's hard. I feel like it's hard to justify her taking that title over Junko. I mean, because even if Mukuro is likely killed more people directly, even though I'm sure Junko has her share. I don't know. It's hard for me. Well, I mean, we know, but I don't know. Junko, I don't know. It's just hard for me to accept acknowledging Mukuro over Junko in any situation. No matter how much I like Mukuro.
I think a certain bloodthirsty fiend has lost her ultimate talent now. As it's
they've
reinstated to someone more worthy.
Jill literally said that the tragedy was so terrible that even she was like, Jesus Christ.
I know, right?
So that kind of is the most telling thing of them all, because that's the thing, right? Jill approaches murder as an art form, whereas and most serial killers do. That's pretty common among serial killers. That's why they typically have a calling card. They have a very specific MO, right? They kill, maybe it's the way they kill, maybe it's who they kill, it could be all these factors are usually repeated, and that's part of their process.
And all play into Jill that you listed.
Yes. Jill follows a lot of the classic serial killer tropes. It sounds weird to call it a trope, I'm talking about real people, but you get my point.
Yeah.
That is common MOs for serial killers. Sure, yeah, and obviously the specifics of the patterns vary, but usually serial killers typically, not always, but typically they follow certain rules, for lack of a better term, certain patterns. But in the case of Junko, like I said, it's all about despair. She's more of an anomaly in a different way than Jill. Jill, while she is also an anomaly, she can be compared to other people that have existed in real life. Whereas Junko is kind of an anomaly to another level of, like, just a different type of psycho than Jill.
You're saying.
Yeah. Of course, Junko's easier to compare to, like, and they actually make this reference in DR2. Monokuma talks about how, like, certain world leaders throughout world history have the ability, and not even just world leaders, but leaders throughout history have had the ability to change people's morals. And so, like, Junko is more comparable to people like that. Whether cult leaders or certain, again, historical, like, world leaders and various other potatoes.
You know, I just
anyways, yeah.
Hiro's been held back in this school, like, twice.
Sure.
It's possible he was part of DR2 class at one point.
I mean, it depends. We don't know enough about the specifics, but
we've just replaced him with, like, Chiaki in the game.
It's possible. That was a long enough tangent that I don't actually know who's saying, well, I guess you're right.
I
think Makoto. Yeah, okay. Well, I guess you're right. But you also saved my life many times during these past 2 years, and I mean,
the only time you know of is like was in like 0.
It did come up in Gear 0, so like at the very least, like
how often was he getting into trouble?
Well, it could make sense because if maybe that was the first time it happened, and there were other incidents after DR0 as things started getting worse in the world, as things.
Lucky student, my ass.
Because by the time they decided to close up the school and all that, like that moment was not far. We don't know how far removed, but that was pretty deep into like everything going to shit.
Yeah.
So a lot led up to that point. So, yeah, I could see there being other incidences where Mukuro was saving Makoto and the others, potentially even, if it was, you know, because they were a part of Junko's ultimate plan, so they had to stay alive. I mean, sure, you could have found replacements, but Junko didn't want that.
Nah.
Makoto took a deep, quiet breath and smiled at Mukuro again. So, like, even if that was Mukuro's motivation, it doesn't change the action. Mukuro did still save Makoto. You're my friend. We all spent time with each other. It would be great if you could look for a different path, not despair. If there's any way I can help you, I will.
Do you really think I can walk another path at this point? I don't know what you can do, or even what I can do.
I think that part's Makoto.
Oh.
I don't know what you can do, or even what I can do, but I think it's more important to look for that path instead of actually finding it. It's a good way to look at it. Was this intentional or coincidence? Just before he regained his memories, Makoto had said something similar to Mukuro when she spoke to him in the nurse's office as Junko. Regardless of whether he lost his memories or regained them, those words revealed Makoto's true character. As Mukuro confirmed that to herself, Makoto blurted out something that was almost too trusting. And it's not just you, even Junko can.
Hold on, bitch. You are going way too far right now with the sentimentals.
Friendship is magic!
Yeah, this is not fucking My Little Pony.
Honestly, the irony of that is, that doesn't even apply to My Little Pony. Like, it's not like they redeem everyone in MLP.
Yeah, including the 8-year-old girl.
There are multiple villains, like quite a few villains they don't redeem. Just because they redeem some doesn't mean they don't all.
God, this game came out when MLP just started as well.
Yeah, oh yeah, great time in the internet.
The best decade, probably.
This was also around the time that Peak came out. But he was immediately interrupted.
Bitch, what? I
guess she's back from her coffee break.
That sentence, Makoto.
Yeah. It's like she legit was like, you know, having a donut, having a bagel or something. And in the second she heard that from away, she immediately just ran to the screen, ran to her controls, like, yeah, fuck you, bitch.
Yeah, because we know like, the surveillance camera room is like in the other room to the Monokuma one. It's like, oh shit, fucking light speed to those controls. Like, what?
Yeah, I know, it's so good.
You fucking what, man?
I have to react to that.
Almost choked on a donut there.
Yeah, I know. Makoto got closer to killing Junko, giving her a heart attack than anything Mukuro's done so far.
Honestly. Do it. Do the poo-hoo-hoo.
Oh, I did, but I'll do it again for you. Monokuma's face appeared on every monitor in the academy, and his laughter seemed to be coming out of every speaker. I could have kept pretending to be that ultimate hacker. It's boring to impersonate someone who doesn't even exist.
Damn.
If this keeps up, I'll lose my identity and turn into Kanokuma. Kyoko looked up at the surveillance camera and addressed Monokuma directly.
You seem to give up pretty easily. Whoa.
Yep. There isn't a bear anywhere that gives up as easily as I do. Regardless, I'm pretty sure Chihiro has figured out the secret of my control program by now.
So
I don't know if this is Kyoko or... I think it's Kyoko.
So just as I thought, you included that program on purpose.
Of course. Kyoko realized something when Mukuro told her about Junko. There was 2 reasons such a hateful person would intentionally leave an obvious clue inside the Monokuma units. Either Junko wanted the students to learn the truth about the outside world and themselves on their own, and turn their hopes into despair.
That's basically what she did in Chapter 5.
Or she was looking forward to that clue resulting in her own plan being undone, which would allow her to feel despair towards herself. Yes,
Jesus Christ,
my response, yes.
Junko
It's the perspective, yeah. It's also interesting to hear. It's also interesting too, because in the actual DR1, we never get this like narrator perspective on Kyoko. This is like essentially an internal monologue kind of perspective on Kyoko, which is something we just don't get in DR1.
Yeah.
She was an angel of everlasting darkness. Wax poetry about my goddess Kyoko, I'm here for it. Delighting in her own despair and using it to spread despair and destruction to those around her. Why would someone like that continue to play the role of Monokuma?
Shits and giggles.
Actually, I set that program for Chihiro to discover if she happened to be one of the final 5 survivors.
The final 5 survivors?
Interesting.
Wait,
So is the plan for there to be 5?
But what purpose
I want
is
interesting.
that? This isn't the same plan
Interesting.
as DR2.
So it's interesting. So then this goes into stuff that we never got to see happen because the game never got that far. Because I'm sure the plan was for it to go all the way down to 1. But, yeah, interesting. But maybe that was the stage in the game where we would get to this reveal. I feel so sad and empty that my preparation was a waste. I didn't think about it positively. Retreat doesn't exist in Monokuma's dictionary. And nervousness began to grip the students as Monokuma continued talking in his relaxing, uplifting voice. Now then, it's like everyone's here, including Toko, who's still tied up in her room. So let's start the heart-throbbing, exciting, special graduation exam!
Oh my god. Huh?
The students broke out in noisy confusion, but Monokuma ignored them and kept talking. Don't think about it too hard. Relax. Change elax to Upert for all I care. I'll He'll be the most fair here. Rupert.
Cool.
Byakuya, visibly annoyed with Monokuma's nonsensical rambling, shouted, I already know it's you, Junko. Stop this stupid game and show yourself. Why, don't you know? If you wanted to lure the mastermind out of her heavenly hidey hole, you need to bring a worthy sacrifice. You're not worthy enough at all.
Oof, to say that to Tagami.
Oh yeah. Do you really think the mastermind would show herself for your pathetic hope and despair? He roared maniacally. I think it's actually manically. That's interesting. Then began to explain the special graduation exam. If you pass my exam, everyone will graduate. But if you fail, you'll be held back for a whole year.
Okay, so not punishment. That's fair.
I assume that refers to the mind reset. Yeah. Reset your memories, give you a fresh new lease on life, and you'll reintroduce yourselves at the start of the school year again. They say people's lives don't come with reset buttons. Not the people.
I think that one's intentional.
Yeah, it absolutely is intentional. Whether it's soft resets or hard resets, I can do as I please.
Of course.
Yasuhiro seemed confused, but the other students knew what Monokuma meant by reset.
I mean, he literally just said what it meant.
I love how they emphasize, like, Kira doesn't get anything that's going on right now. He was going to force them to relive their school lives once again. As Yasuhiro struggled to understand, Taka pointed at a nearby monitor and shouted,
Stop this already! No matter what you do to us, we'll never commit murder! These past few days should have already made that clear to you!
I don't think that's the challenge. Jump Monokuma? Are you serious?
Of course, no one would No one
Oh,
here would...
yeah.
Yeah. Of course! No one here would ever take another human being's life for any reason! Bro, have I got a story?
Asaka shouted. One of the students, a pale-faced girl standing apart from the others, looked away. Sayaka?
Celeste?
Oh, yeah. Celeste is paler.
No, it would be Sayaka, because that night she was planning on killing Leon.
Well, let's see. Let's see the actual line.
It was Sayaka.
It was Sayaka. Okay. Ah, yeah, of course, that makes sense. As she trembled, a voice popped up from behind her.
Leon?
Makoto? I was thinking Makoto, but...
No, he's leaning against Kyoko right now.
Okay, we can go with Leon. Who wants to be Leon?
I guess I'll be Leon. What do you think, Sayaka?
She couldn't even turn around from sheer terror, but Sayaka knew. Oh, Monokuma!
Oh.
Good! Oh, what do you think, Sayaka?
He knew...
She knew Monokuma was standing right behind her, that makes sense.
Monokuma knew what she was planning.
Do you really think none of you will become a killer? Monokuma leaned towards Sayaka and asked her a question only she could hear. By the way, Sayaka, why did you go to Makoto's room when nothing strange had happened yet? Did you two have an inappropriate relationship? What would your fans think if they found out you made a move on a boy by sneaking into his room?
Oof.
Or were you there for some other reason? She could barely make a sound, much less scream, as her
I'm
trembling
glad we're
worsened.
acknowledging that this was the plan.
Oh yeah, dude. Monokuma's cooking right now. Monokuma had nothing to gain by cornering Sayaka and toying with her emotion like this. It's funny though.
Yeah, it's like...
He simply wanted to see the young singer fall into despair over her true character.
This is entertainment at its finest.
Exactly. And for that reason, Monokuma did not relent.
Monokuma always says, hey, hey.
Hey, hey! What were you trying to do to your close friend you've known for the past 2 years? Her determination from last night blended with the memories Makoto had recounted, and ate away at Sakaya's mind like it's a disease.
Sakaya's mind?
Yeah, it says Sakaya, not Sayaka.
Oh my god, what the fuck?
That's a good one. That's a funny one. As her mind began to rip itself apart, she fell to her knees. You could tell someone was just like the intern, was just translating this like so fast. A clear ball flying at just under 105 miles per hour struck Monokuma in the mouth with enough force to stick it in his head. Damn! Leon can throw a 105-mile-an-hour fastball? Holy shit! It really is the ultimate baseball star. That's crazy.
Are we surprised at this?
No, but that's still pretty based. The speaker in Monokuma's mouth was immediately destroyed as his body rolled into a wall. I'll be so mad if it's not Leon, by the way. And this was something else entirely, but it's gotta be Leon. Rolled into a wall and stopped moving. Sayaka came to her senses and looked where the ball came flying from. She saw Leon breathing heavily as he stared intensely at Monokuma. Bro, it was one throw.
Bro also
Yasuhiro grabbed him
on him out of nowhere
and yelled, dude, why'd you do that, Leon? Oh no, did he? Yes! Your ball is really valuable in every timeline.
Nice.
Leon had stolen Yasuhiro's crystal ball and thrown it at Monokuma.
Some things you just can't change.
Yeah, it's kind of like how in DR2, everything mirrored the first game.
That Monokuma bastard was trying to take Sayaka hostage. What else was I supposed to do?
Dude, that crystal ball cost me $2 trillion! Also, that was Sakaya, not Sayaka, dude! 2 trillion! They don't even print that much money anymore!
Oh, bullshit! Besides, if the world really is all screwed up, what the hell are you gonna need money for anyway? But if it's safe out there, I'll just join the major leagues or whatever and pay you back. Damn. Well, I could pay you back doing something else besides baseball. Wait, what?
He's like, wait, yeah, because he doesn't like baseball, but then he secretly kind of likes baseball.
Yeah.
As those two argued, Sayaka fell to her knees.
Hey! Sayaka, are you okay?
Simp. She looked at him and stared blankly. I don't love you. Leon?
You're a simp.
She had made up her mind as she raised her head and she said, I am not going to fuck you.
Ever.
There's something I need to confess to you later. Oh,
Sounds
she's
sus.
gonna confess. Oh, well, we know what it is, but that's wild.
What? Seriously?
Abram's like, yeah.
I'm in already.
I thought she's making the... Sayaka was staring at Leon so intensely that he briefly forgot about the current situation. Not just to you,
Damn it!
but to Makoto and the others too. Leon's gonna be like, whoa, kinky. Whoa, this girl's kinky.
Whoa, a whole class at once?
Damn. I guess she is the ultimate pop sensation.
This might be alright.
Sayaka had made up her mind to confess the sin that was weighing heavily on her heart. But Leon seemed not to hear the latter half of her remark. Wow. He ran back to the others, slapped Hifumi and Yasuhiro on their backs and shouted.
Why did he... What was wrong with Hifumi?
Well, no, he's just like, hey guys, like, hey, my brothers, I'm in a good mood now, bam.
Alright everyone, let's ace this exam or whatever and get the hell out of here.
Oh, he's excited.
Yeah, he knows something's coming tonight, but it's not quite what he...
Little does, yeah.
There's no way I'm gonna let my happy memories of this place get taken away.
Monokuma inside the monitor responded. Fine, fine. Now that things are finally coming to a boil, let's start the graduation exam. Which also is something we had in DR2. Sakura, who'd been outside the dormitory, suddenly appeared with some information.
The Monokumas in the hallway are acting peculiar.
The students all moved to the main building to see what Sakura was talking about. There they saw 50 Monokumas standing in 2 rows along the walls of the hallway, and one standing at the very end of the hall. There was something strange on top of this Monokuma's head. An enlarged version of the escape button that Makoto had obtained from the Mono machine. As each student took in this sight, an announcement rang throughout the school. The man at the end of the hall has a button on top of his head that'll open the main entrance. You'll have 15 seconds to get that button, and if you do, I'll let you have it in place of a diploma. The student seemed surprised by the straightforward explanation. Only Celeste remained calm, and she asked Monokuma with a bored look on her face.
Of course, it is not as simple as running up and taking it, is it?
How mean! Do I look the kind of headmaster that would interfere with his students' graduation? Forget the gunfire salutes. I'm gonna send my graduates off with some fireworks. 100 fireworks to be exact. Enough for 20 seconds of hardcore partying. The more perceptive students immediately realized what he was talking about. The bombs installed inside each Monokuma.
Shit.
They would explode one after the other, filling the hallway with fire as soon as time started. After 15 seconds, the me standing at the back of the hall is going to sacrifice himself to give you guys one final firework.
Well, we gotta rely on either Sakura or Mukuro now.
Probably both.
Because we ain't getting anything from Mifumi.
By the way, this probably isn't important. It isn't very durable. This graduation exam was Monokuma's way of saying that he had no intention of letting anyone leave. It was clear from the explosion the students saw during the entrance exam that the halls of Hope Speak Academy would be bathed in fire. Even if someone was lucky enough to survive the explosions, the burns on their body alone would be enough to send them into a fatal shock. Their lungs might be completely incinerated by the scorched air before that. Even if they sacrificed one student to run through, the odds were low that they would even succeed.
So what the hell are we doing?
But there was no reason for every student to run in at once either, and a shadow of despair fell upon their faces. Nice. Very nice. I almost want to take a picture so I have those faces as a souvenir. You essentially have to send in a sacrificial pawn to try and do it. As Monokuma laughed from behind the monitor, Sakura stepped forward.
I'll do it. I have only seen the explosion once, but I believe I am capable of withstanding its power.
No! Shouted Aoi, you can't! Even you couldn't handle 100 of those explosions! Sakura shook her head.
I'm the only one who even has a chance.
Suddenly, Mondo remembered the motorcycle he parked inside the dormitory and said,
Hold up, that motorcycle might be fast enough to go through those explosions. I'll do it. Don't be hasty. Even if the motorcycle is unharmed by the explosions, that doesn't mean its rider will be.
As Sakura and others continued their debate, one person stepped toward the hallway lined with Monokumas.
Are you motherfuckers forgetting who the main character of this story is?
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Mukuro! Screamed Makoto weakly. Mukuro? with her back facing Makoto, turned her head to the side slightly.
See, here's the thing. She's quick enough and athletic enough to run up the walls as well to avoid the explosions.
No, even better. This is Makuro, not Mukuro, so it's fine.
Another main character?
Yeah, let's go, Makuro. Let's do it.
Jesus.
And gave him a small nod. She knew it would come to this. She knew why Monokuma would pose such an impossible exam. Junko is already looking forward to the next despair game. She's going to erase everyone's memories, including mine. She just wants to torment us and fill us with despair before that happens.
Hot.
But Mukuro knew her sister's personality all too well, and that's why she was confident. She knew that the escape button was real. Whenever Junko brought despair to others, she always made sure there was a possibility that despair would befall her instead. The students won this gamble and made it through this horrible situation. They would finally escape the outside world. That outcome would obviously fill Junko with immense despair.
Not to mention trap her inside the school so she couldn't run past this hallway.
Nice.
That's how you want to describe it?
In the same way she left a clue in Monokuma's control program, Junko could not be satisfied until she took pains to assure her own destruction. It was this quality that made Junko the ultimate despair.
The true, ultimate despair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, and here the emphasis is the ultimate despair, not an ultimate despair. That's why Mukuro was determined to do it. She knew she was the only person who stood a chance of making that outcome possible. Even if she had to risk her life. But right now, Mukuro wanted to live more than anything. She wanted to hold on to this world. A world she had no interest in previously. She didn't even know if this hesitation she felt was disappointing or not. But she wanted to live and continue searching for a new path. A path where she could abandon her submission to despair, where she could accept the sins of the past and continue to live.
Well,
Mukuro, who is known as a war machine, found her heart beset by overwhelming fear and anxiety. Until now, it never occurred to her that determination was necessary to live. As if she was brushing that fear aside, she quietly said,
Thank you, Makoto.
Unfortunately, the words she said to the boy who showed her new possibilities never reached his ears. Sakura, however, heard her and frowned as she said,
If you're planning to sacrifice yourself as an act of penance, I'll stop you with all my power.
Though her words were firm, there was unmistakable affection hiding in them. Both girls had dedicated their lives to battle, and yet Mukuro felt a twinge of jealousy towards Sakura for possessing something she lacked.
Muscles.
Mukuro leaned towards Sakura and whispered in her ear,
What? Are you serious? You didn't even say anything.
you just said ellipses. What does ... mean? As Sakura's frown intensified, Monokuma's voice blared throughout the halls. Alright, I'm gonna start the exam now. Ready, set, go! There was no time for questions or objections. The frontmost Monokuma exploded, sending a roaring wave of heat through the hall. But Mukuro didn't look away. She began moving, powered by resolute determination.
Go, 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 go. Oh, Junko.
Monokuma room. As soon as the graduation exam started, the mastermind focused her control entirely on the Monokuma holding the escape button. and completely synchronized her field of vision with it. She knew what was going to happen next. She could predict what her sister Mukuro would do in this exact situation, where she would choose to focus her superhuman skill with weaponry. And so, through Monokuma's eyes, she watched the scene unfold exactly as she had predicted. A pointed metal bar burst through the explosions, heading straight for the weak point of the Monokuma holding the escape button. Specifically, it was aiming for the point where the bomb's detonation system and Monokuma's power source overlapped. It flew straight and true, as if it had been fired by a master archer. In order to bring despair to Monokuma, and by extension Junko as well, the super soldier known as Mukuro Ikusama threw the pipe like a spear so it could attack the same weak point she had pierced in the nurse's office. As explosions filled the hallway until only fire remained visible, the spear's speed and precision, as it soared to its target, defied all human logic. But the mastermind knew.
Crap.
She knew Mukuro had used her power to fill the world with despair. Power was all that disappointing girl had. But that power was useless against Monokuma. The mastermind had predicted that Mukuro would put all her effort into that throw, and Monokuma caught the metal bar perfectly between his hands. The force of the throw knocked Monokuma back several yards, but the pointed end of the bar never pierced through his chest. Well, that was disappointing. The mastermind turned to look at a different monitor. She wanted to see the look on Mukuro's face when she realized that she failed to strike Monokuma. The despair of seeing the final Monokuma explode right before her eyes, completely obliterating the escape button. She wanted to sear this memory of her disappointing sister's final moments as her newfound hope sank into a dark pit of despair. On instinct, she turned her attention to the surveillance camera that hadn't been destroyed, but instead of seeing Mukuro and the others, she only saw Sakura, who looked as though she had finished launching an attack.
Oh?
Nani? Yeah, she only thought it was strange for 1 second. But then the hopelessly powerful mastermind completely understood the situation and shifted her point of view to Monokuma. But because of that single second, Junko would feel just a pang of despair.
She miscalculated.
3 seconds left. Amid the smoke, flames, and heat encircling the hallway, it burst through with the speed of a cannon shell. It glared at Monokuma with hot, boiling eyes that betrayed the icy expression on its face. And then, sharply, swiftly, strongly, it transformed into a living weapon that cuts through everything, revealing its true form in that hall of despair. 2 seconds left. Monokuma, who was still holding the metal bar in his hands, tried to move, but at that exact moment, oh my god, did Sakura yeet? I think Sakura yeeted Mukuro.
Oh my god.
I think that's what it is.
Jesus Christ, that's insane.
I mean, apparently it's saying enough that was not... You know what that is, though? Because I think that's her mistake, is she's operating under her understanding of Mukuro as she knew her, not as who she is now. Because she's evolved as a person in the course of this story.
In the span of 1 hour.
Because she would... Yeah, basically. At that exact moment, the living weapon carved a path through the flames and appeared before him. Its body, which had never been wounded on any battlefield, was sustaining all manner of burns and injuries. But even so, it did not falter. The fire in its eyes never flickered once. 1 second left. the living weapon, Mukuro, slammed her knee into the back of the metal bar Monokuma was holding. Ow! The sharp tip of that metal bar pierced through Monokuma like a rail spike,
Nice.
shredding the detonator and his power source into pieces. Time's up. The 100 explosions ceased, and smoke blanketed the hallway. Mukuro had dived into Monokuma, and the pristine escape button now rested in her hand.
This is so anime.
It really is. She and the other students of Hope's Peak Academy had passed the graduation exam. It was only a small amount of despair. Monokuma had tasted it in only 3 seconds.
And
That's for Harley. Yeah.
That's that. Junko.
Mukuro looked down at Monokuma. He could no longer move or self-destruct. When she spoke to him, a static-filled voice emitted from his mouth. Seemed his communication function still worked. I never expected you to do that. He still sounded like Monokuma. Seems his voice modulator was... Oh, never mind. Was unharmed as well. I must have overestimated you. I never thought you'd need anybody's help on the battlefield.
When I give the signal, please launch me forward with a roundhouse kick.
Jesus! That's even crazier.
Fucking kicked her that far?
Yeah, I'd buy it, but that's still wild. Mukuro whispered those words to Sakura just before the explosion started. After Mukuro threw the metal bar, she jumped into the air at the exact moment Sakura unleashed a roundhouse kick. Right when Sakura's foot made contact with her own, Mukuro used the force generated by her kick to propel herself at Monokuma. Using the ultimate martial artist's superhuman attack like a springboard, she shot herself through the air like an artillery shell. Enduring intense heat, shrapnel, and blood-draining G-force, she stayed conscious as she charged through the hallway engulfed with explosions and despair. Mukuro trusted Junko. She trusted Junko to predict that she'd throw the metal bar and catch it accordingly. Then she'd try to look at her face as the despair sets in. The Junko Enoshima she knew would definitely do that.
Seems like
Although Mukuro,
analyst as well.
Certainly when it comes to battle, although Mukuro hadn't predicted that her sister would try to kill her with the spears of Gungnir, she had a better understanding of her actions now. So Mukuro stared Monokuma in his face. All he could do was laugh scornfully. You put your life in someone else's hands? For a deadly battle? I don't know how I feel about that. You'll always be a half-assed disappointment.
Very well.
Boo-hoo-hoo. I guess this time I'll just say I lost because I didn't see this much disappointment coming. The end. The end. Mukuro shook her head at Monokuma.
And cut to black. Oh. No, you're wrong, Junko.
Huh?
If you want to talk about winning or losing, I think we lost before we even started.
Mukuro's eyes shifted from side to side as if she was unsure of something, and she fidgeted in place as she continued to talk.
No matter how much despair they felt, you didn't think they'd kill each other the way they were before. That's why you erased their memories. Not like the others you forced in the past. You knew these students would never do it. That's what you believed, right?
What are you talking about?
So, it's okay, Junko. I'll bring back everyone's memories someday, and I'll show you everyone's happiness and their bonds. I'll show all that to you, and fill you with more despair.
Mukuro nodded after she said this, as if to cheer her sister up. After several seconds of silence, Monokuma responded, "You finally beat me this one time, and that lame speech is the best you can do?
Damn.
You're such a disappointment. You never fill me with despair. It's just constant disappointment."
There you go. There is a difference between disappointment and despair. There's your answer. Right from
At least that's what she's saying.
Junko Enoshima herself.
Well, at least that's what she's saying. After pouting like a sore loser, Monokuma continued to speak in his usual tone. "You guys will be back.
What?
And when that time comes, I'll invite you guys to a wonderful place. I found out about this fun island while I was running things here."
I bet. 5 islands and a sub-central island?
"You can come with me and we can leave despair behind together." Monokuma's laughter filled the room before the static finally cut out, and his remains fell silent. He wouldn't be talking again anytime soon. The mastermind was already preparing a new despair to bring to the world and to the students of Hope's Peak Academy, Junko included. In the end, the mastermind stayed in her Monokuma persona until the very end. Junko Enoshima never showed her face again. It was as if she resented the despair Mukuro had given her.
Oof. Oof.
That thought almost filled Mukuro with despair. When she heard her classmates calling for her, she sealed that despair into the depths of her heart. That's interesting. From now on, she would steal away all her despair. And one day, when she can give Junko the perfect despair, she'll unleash all the despair she stored and plunge with her sister into a dark abyss.
What the
That's
fuck?
crazy. That line might legitimately be crazier than anything Junko's ever said. I'm gonna lock all this despair.
She really has been evolving in this story.
That's crazy.
I won't leave my sister alone.
My little sister alone. That was the first hope the disappointing older sister had felt since she was a child.
Little sister. She's the older one.
Yeah. Just barely. Several hours later, main entrance. Hey look, it's everyone, including Junkuro.
Still wearing that fucking wig.
Based. It's even better to imagine her. What? That's crazy!
Nice!
Yeah, I'm gonna guess probably Makoto if I had to guess.
Yeah.
Mukuro, are you really going to go out wearing that wig? After receiving a blood transfusion of the correct blood type, Makoto was beginning to show signs of recovering. Mukuro, holding her wig to disguise herself as Junko Enoshima, nodded.
If I live as Junko, I might be able to understand her better. What the fuck?
You really are a fucking psychopath. What the fuck, Mukuro?
I know, right? What the actual hell?
Like, despite it all, she really is Junko's sister.
For real?
Despite that, Mukuro's voice still sounded like her own, as if she hadn't fully decided.
And I've made up my mind. While I'm out there, I've decided I'll accept everyone's hatred towards me, and toward Junko. Y'all know Junko's still in the building, right?
Yeah, I know, it's so good.
Like, just up a few lights of stairs.
Uh-huh.
I can't die until I've destroyed all the despair that Junko has spread.
The damage that ultimate despair inflicted upon the world cannot be measured in terms of money, culture, or even human life. Television broadcasts had already begun informing people that Junko Enoshima and Mukuro Ikusaba were the heart of ultimate despair. Among the survivors in the outside world, there are still people who hadn't been tainted by despair yet. Regardless of the fact that she released Makoto and the others, to these survivors she was nothing more than the reason the world ended.
Fair.
And to the terrorists wearing Monokuma masks who continued to ravage the world, Mukuro was nothing but a traitor. She was now in the hopeless situation of being enemies with most of humanity. But Mukuro wasn't making a big deal out of it.
I'm going to try not to kill anyone who comes after me for revenge.
Keyword is try.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be safer to just turn yourself in? No idea who's talking here.
Yeah, no idea.
Literally could. Let's go with. I don't know, Kyoko. It literally could be anyone.
Alright. Well, you might just get executed instead.
Maybe this is. Yeah, it's still here. Oh, that's what it is. But you could live to be an old lady if your trial keeps getting pushed back. Wow. Mukuro slowly shook her head at Yasuhiro.
2 years. 2 fucking years and you haven't changed at all.
Honestly.
Laws, justice, these things no longer exist. Still
Is it really that bad out there? I don't know. Maybe we should just stay in here. Oh, it was still Yasuhiro, okay. Byakuya glared at Yasuhiro with contempt. Ignorant idiot should just shut up. Your fate won't change whether you stay in here or not. Though he was shocked to learn the Togami Corporation had been destroyed, Byakuya continued to remain firm and proud, even toward Mukuro. You are a rare asset, so I will let you live for now.
Nice.
Depending on your actions, I may consider forgiving your crimes after I've built a new world.
Ooh, for like Act 1 Togami, that's quite the compliment.
Mm-hmm. To be fair, she actually is a rare asset. Unlike Makoto, who's Makoto.
Really
Yeah, only a Togami. Only a Togami would boast that they're capable of forgiving the crime of ending the world.
Honestly.
Based.
Actually, based on how everyone sees Junko, I think most people would. You don't need to do that. I don't plan on just surviving.
After turning away from Byakuya, Mukuro looked at the other students. We're playing endgame music now. This is actually... I think this is from the endgame of both games, actually, but... Everyone was reacting in their own way. Kyoko had a look of quiet preparation. Toko, having just changed back from Genocide Jack, was panicked and confused. I love how that's mirrors the first game.
What the fuck is going on?
I know. The same thing happened in the first game.
Yep.
Mukuro looked back on the 2 years she spent with them, then turned to Makoto, who shared the same memories with her, and gave him the escape button.
Makoto, you press it.
Huh? Me? Huh?
I think it's better if you press it instead of me.
Imagine it's like, you press the button and it's like, whoever presses it gets shot by the Gatling guns, and Mukuro and Junko planned all of this out to inflict despair.
Stop, no.
Imagine. Peak. As she watched Makoto accept...
You got the back guide. Psych!
That'd be crazy, but it would be peak. As she watched Makoto accept the button with some hesitation, Mukuro thought about what Monokuma had said. You guys will be back. Mukuro knew that Monokuma was telling the truth. After all, the file the students needed to fully restore their lost memories remained hidden in the academy. Interesting!
Oh.
The research notes of Yasuke Matsuda, the ultimate neurologist.
What the fuck?
His research is the key to restoring everyone's memories. We're actually talking about it.
That out in the main game, I don't think.
Yeah, no, we do not, because Yasuke never comes up.
Huh.
Interesting. Even if the students no longer have their memories, they may be able to repair the bonds they had built among themselves over the past 2 years. But as long as their memories remain unrestored, the mastermind could still repeat her deadly plan. Although the island mentioned earlier sounded strange, the students could not turn their backs on the despair facing them.
Then, let's go. Oh.
Makoto remembered... Yeah, I was thinking maybe Makoto, but the pauses make you think Mukuro for sure. Makoto remembered everything that was happening in the outside world. The boy who had chosen to remain inside the academy 2 years ago was now choosing to leave. How much did he struggle to come to that decision? But he was determined to face the despair awaiting him outside and hid his internal conflict from the others. By protecting Makoto's hope, Mukuro would bring despair to her beloved sister. But she no longer knew if the end result of her goal would lead to hope or despair. She pulled the wig over her head and hid her face with her hands. Was she smiling because hope was waiting for her? Or was she crying because her path would lead to despair? When she lowered her hands, her face was devoid of all emotion. Mukuro no longer knew what expression she would wear on her face. At the same time, Makoto pressed the escape button.
Oh, by the way, Makoto, I planned on killing you that night. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's in there.
Press the button.
The whole Makoto, Leon, all that nonsense. The siren began to wail as the turrets retracted into the ceiling. From beyond the heavy door, a bright light appeared. An infinite number of ifs, and all the possibilities contained therein, encased the world. Accepting everything, hope, despair, and even the feelings of that disappointing girl, Mukuro Ikusaba.
Hey, let's go! Animation, what is this?
Yeah, it's the same animation that ends DR1, but with more characters standing there.
This was in DR1.
Yeah. But we got everyone standing here. That's cool.
No, this very scene was in DR1.
Yeah, I know, but it wasn't used in the main game.
I know. GG.
Yeah.
Well, that was a lot of build up for a character that's ultimately dead in the grand scheme of things.
I know, that's crazy.
What a fucking weird ride.
Yeah, it definitely was a weird ride. It does make me think, though, that... Yeah. It was Danganronpa F.
Definitely
obviously,
what if scenario. Not really sure why they made this, to be honest.
It's interesting, right? Because clearly at its surface, it was because really it comes down to a deeper look at Mukuro and Junko's characters, which, again, is very interesting given where we are in the canon.
It's just crazy how much of the development of Junko and Mukuro is just supplemental material that, like, 60% of the audience will never read or know about.
Probably more, honestly. Well, I don't know, it's weird, because it's like, I feel like the number is a lot higher with the Western audience. Like, I think way more than 60% will never do. But then the Japanese, I know how the Japanese audience is with Leave stuff. I feel like a lot of the Japanese audience actually did consume this, like, side material. So that's a weird one.
I'm surprised about that.
So yeah, it's like, it might actually average back down to 60 because, like, barely, like, only the super fans would have consumed it in the West, or, like, really dedicated people, and then psychos like us.
Zero wasn't even released in the West, so it's like...
Yeah.
A lot of people just straight up will not know that's even, like, a thing.
Yeah.
Which is silly.
But thankfully there has been multiple translations, including an actually pretty good one that we got to read.
Yeah, like I said, that was Danganronpa If. Again, it's interesting that they're trying to expand on the most mysterious character in the franchise, given that in real time we never got a glimpse of Mukuro Ikusaba as a person.
Like, I feel like even if it's not a lot, and like who knows how big of a role Mukuro will have in future content. But this to me, this feels almost like a giveaway that like she has to be involved in something at some point, which means we have to have something that takes place before DR1, whether it's the game or part of the anime or what.
This almost makes me wonder if, like, Kodaka got cold feet after DR1, if he ended up regretting how little we got to use Mukuro for, and that's why this story came out. Because obviously, Danganronpa 0 is an official, like, continuation of the story past Trigger Happy Havoc, but it doesn't go into much of Mukuro's own personality other than, like, her loyalty to Junko anyway. So I wonder if
that was all about Junko.
This was a quick little project he made because, like, oh, well, I guess in the end I had some ideas for Mukuro that I just never had at the time of DR1's conception.
I think it's just, like, expanding. Like the series is really popular, so let's do, like, you know, it's just very supplemental material to expand on it.
It's packaged into an entirely different game. Something that some people will just completely miss once they're exiting out of the game once you finish it.
Sure, but, you know, that's just the weird stuff. Danganronpa in that regard is just really weird. But, yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting, but I do, before, like I said, if there's any, like you said, since you are kind of at a loss of what you really want to say, I'll quickly say the thing that matters, which is every scene that was between Mukuro and Junko was peak. That's basically basically the reason to read this.
Pretty much, yeah. It gave some insight,
because,
I guess, on how the memories came back, because we had, like, Matsuda's research.
It is interesting, yeah. Like there are these, like, little crumbs that you actually get in this that's actually context that's relevant to canon that you have not gotten up to this point in anything else. So that's interesting. Cute little things like that are cool. But I think it's interesting because, like I said, I expect this conversation, because I had this conversation going into Ultra Despair Girls. In the beginning of my first video for UDG, I spent a long time talking about where I think the rest of the series might be going and, like, what the fuck that game could be about, as well as, and then I do the same thing with the anime. But you're at that point now. And even though we consume things in different order, because I read Zero after playing DR2, we're at a point now where while our order wasn't exactly the same, we've consumed the same amount of stuff. Like, obviously, I'm ahead at this point. I've played UDG and I'm in DR3, but I'm curious, just maybe an abridged version, you can save the full gas for when you actually do the first Ultra Despair Girls video. But I am curious about what you think is coming next to some extent.
It's so interesting, like, you know, because it's very a deliberate title to get your neurons pumping about Junko.
It's definitely, but it's also deep Danganronpa, so that could very much be designed, like be fucking with you, of course.
Yeah, it's the case of, like, is this next game something genuinely, like, about Mukuro and Junko? Or is this, like, the next leader, since, like, the main two girls are gone now for good? It's, like, one of the remnants that they turn, like, about to take up the mantle of continuing the job. And we get something that.
Well, it's interesting, too, because, like, there are also, like, it can kind of be a little bit of both. It's very possible that Ultra Despair Girls could also refer, because obviously Mukuro and Junko and it being pre-DR1, probably post-DR0 in all likelihood. If it is pre-DR1, it's probably post-DR0.
I would definitely think so.
Because it seems like that was kind of that's what 0, right? And it's also the groundwork. It makes sense that it would be like 0.5, right? DR 0.5, so to speak. But I would think there's an interesting case for it to be Danganronpa 1.5, because if it's not about Mukuro and Junko, who's to say that it's about the remnants of despair, and maybe the more focused characters happen to be girls, among the remnants of despair, and that might be where the namesake comes from as well. It's fully possible to be.
If you wanted to, like, go that route, I mean, again, the weird thing about it is that like 9 times out of 10, when people are talking about Danganronpa and the Order, they're not talking about Ultra Despair Girls in any way, shape, or form. It's just the middle child of the franchise where people just gloss over it. Even in re-releases, it doesn't really get released. So,
But yeah, I will. Like I said, this is something that I can talk to you about after you've already like played it. But it's definitely something that you play at this point. You don't play it earlier, you don't play it later, and there's reasons for that. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's after DR2.
Yeah, and that's what I'm wondering. Like, is this gonna be...
Just like how you wouldn't read DR0 before playing the first game.
Yeah, but like, is this like a case of either, you know, we are going again, we're going back in time, and we're seeing like, we're focusing on the tragedy itself, and we're focusing on all of the people that were outside of the walls of any kind of Hope to Speak relevancy, while either DR1 was going on.
That we still haven't really seen.
While this game was going on, is this gonna like expand on like how the world started to heal after the tragedy, or is this gonna focus on like all of the women of note in the series thus far that Junko turned? Like, are we gonna see Sonya despair, Hiyoko, Mikan despair, like all these people,
and I mean, just because it's called
were despairs.
Just because it's called Ultra Despair Girl doesn't mean that it can't just be about all the remnants. Like, it could be more of like a thing where it's like focused around a specific character or characters that happen to be like. Obviously, there's some emphasis on the girls. Like, you wouldn't call it Ultra Despair Girls if there isn't some emphasis on
females,
girls in it. Obviously, but that doesn't. I don't think that necessarily gives a lot away. Because the mind wants to jump to Mukuro and Junko, but like I said, it could apply to the remnants. It could apply to currently unknown characters, but it could have involvement. Like, that's the other thing you talked about. Like, are we going to set up like another big bad for the series at this point? And like, what's funny is this could be 0.5 or 1.5, and still set up the big bad of like the rest of the series. Like, really, it doesn't matter where in the timeline it is. Those things aren't necessarily mutually exclusive. Or it could be obviously 2.5 and do that same thing.
Like I said, I had my theories in the anime. Obviously, you're currently watching the anime, but like, I still feel like our
but I can comment from a place of
our despair side of the anime could be focused on our, you know, our known party. It could be either like our time at Hope's Peak and how Junko turned all of our characters into despairs. It could be a current day situation, and we're learning like if and how we're gonna wake everyone up from the island.
But the point being that the idea that it would be focused on the characters from Good
it would be
Despair.
Focused on the remnant characters, and then the Hope side, the future side, would be like the other stuff going on. It'd be like, okay, our main people from DR1, how they're in the Future Foundation, how they came to be in the Future Foundation, and what they're actually doing, you know, to continue helping the world past
and that all makes sense.
Because we know we're going into new territory, whatever it might be, knowing that our group fucking betrayed the Future Foundation to get these characters into these pods. So it's like,
it's interesting because
themselves.
Yeah, it feels like DR3 will have some sort of, unless it's in UDG, DR3 will have some sort of probably immediate, I feel like, continuation off of DR2. That ending feels like something they're going to pick up pretty much like right where it left off, at least as it pertains to Makoto, Byakuya, and Kyoko. So, that's something. But no, it's definitely, I'm definitely with you, and I was with you going into UDG, that like, that kind of is in the same breath of what I was thinking for the anime, but obviously some of that's dependent on what the hell UDG is, right? So it's like, you're kind of projecting the anime, but there's still one project that could potentially shift thoughts on what the anime could be, especially if this game actually is remnant related. But we'll have to see.
It's definitely something I am looking forward to.
Yes.
But obviously, at this point in time, Ultra Despair Girls is still quite a ways away.
Yep.
Probably... I mean, honestly, I don't even know. Like, probably less for you guys than me, because, like, this is recorded so far in advance at this point, but, like, you know...
I mean, you're creeping up on posting your what, like, at the time we're recording this, I want to say you're, like, halfway through posting DR2?
Just...
Like,
yeah,
the main
just
game?
very recently just posted, Trial 3's, conclusion.
Yeah, sure.
But even then, like,
we'll see.
Both for myself and, like, the channel audience, we have basically 1.5 games at the least to go before we do Ultra Despair Girls, as next in line is Rise from the Ashes, and then...
Yeah, we're gonna finish Ace Attorney 1, and then we're gonna do Ace Attorney 2. So kind of in a similar vein to how he did 0 and then 2 for Danganronpa.
After that, I'm not quite sure, you know? But, yeah, at least for a while, this is going to be the last Danganronpa video you guys actually end up seeing. Which is ironic for me, because this is the first of the extra in video installments that I'm actually completing. As I still got, like, the extra artwork and shit, and I've just barely dug into Island mode.
Still...
canonically recording anyway, so, that's all that. But I did want this to be, like, the ending of Danganronpa for a while, because it's the most separated, isolated... part of this game independently.
It literally is. It's not part of DR2. It's just they happen to throw it in here because
we just
they can.
Bonus stuff.
Yeah,
but still a great bonus video or whatever compared to Danganronpa 1 stuff.
Even just having like, dude, even if it was just like this format, like even just this format for Danganronpa 0 in Danganronpa 1 would be incredible.
Yeah, although that is so much longer than this, that's not even fun.
That is an actual... Yeah, this is like a... Calling it a short story feels like wrong. It is a novel, but it's much shorter than like...
Doki Doki Literature Club.
Whereas, like, we're talking about... With DR0, we're talking about a legitimate novel, like a full book. I mean, it was literally... It was actually released as 2 volumes.
Yeah. You own those volumes. In Japanese.
Yes, I do.
And you can never...
Because it doesn't exist in any other language.
You could probably find one on, like, XD or something, a translated
release. That would actually be pretty cool, but yeah, no. I'm, like I said, it's all good, because like I said, if I want to read it, I can read it. I just can't actually read the physical. Maybe one day, but, I don't know.
I know there's like stories for the anime. Manga stories that like they've officially acknowledged as official, but were done by like different artists and whatnot.
Sure.
So I don't know if those officially count as part of the series. But there's something out there, and I believe they do have physical releases as well, which is pretty cool.
Sure.
But yeah, like I said, Danganronpa very fun. Fucking whack as hell, even by Danganronpa 7.
Yeah, it's...
And feels like it really went into the anime side of this franchise, which most of the anime logic is out of it, from the most part.
But Danganronpa plays with the meme. Yeah, Danganronpa plays... I've talked about it. They play with this idea. But yeah, a story like this definitely has like a... fuck it, we ball kind of vibe. It's an if story, it's supplemental material, and it's like, which is different from 0. I don't consider, like, even though it essentially is, because, like, who the fuck actually reads 0, I do consider 0, like, a main entry in the series. It's just nobody actually reads it. Especially when you just look at, like, the scope of it, and, like, its relevance, how long it is, everything like this. This is actual, like, supplemental material where they just don't give a shit. You could tell, like, obviously Kodaka and, like, the team, they, like, whoever, if it was just him or whatever the production of If was, like, obviously, like, you know, like, they care, but there is a certain degree of, like, this isn't canon, so, like, we can kind of take some liberties that we might not with the main story.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of fun in that regard. But it does have a purpose. What's interesting is it's still, like, it's a weird purpose, all things considered. So, we'll see. but
Yeah.
I enjoy it. It's not zero. It's not that goated, but it's still pretty fun to see Mukuro and Junko interact.
It's a fun little bonus for completing this game, and it gets some more runtime
Yeah.
out of it, so you can't really complain about that.
They have the content, like these things exist, so the fact that they are able to, in DR2, in UDG also has a unlockable novel.
Cool. Oh.
I don't know about V3, but I wouldn't be surprised if V3 does as well, because
Did you not do that novel?
I did not yet. I might do that later, but I did not do it after finishing UDG.
Well, damn. Alright then. I will probably do that novel in order because I'm not silly.
There's a better chance that he'll do it than I'll do it. I'll say that. Not to say that I won't, but odds are higher.
Damn.
He does it, so.
But yeah. I'm pretty good on this. Are you?
Yeah, I don't really have much to say. I think, what needed to be said was said during it, and then we just kind of talked about. I mean, it's almost more about, like I said, what implications this might have for the future, as opposed to like it in a vacuum. Because there isn't really a lot to talk about in a vacuum. Because while it is an interesting story, it isn't canon. So
Yeah, for sure it isn't canon. So think of that what you will. But guys,
yeah,
like I said, this is the final Danganronpa video for quite a while. The series will go on break after this. But considering that we went from 0 right into DR2, we've been doing Danganronpa for quite a long time now anyway. And I think it's time for a break. For you anyway. For me, I still got a lot to do, but for you, it's break time. So guys, thanks for watching this if you still are. This is our break from Danganronpa. But next time, we very well may still plunge once again into the realm of Junko and Ashima with Ultra Despair Girls. So, see you then.